Thank you. Thanks. Hey guys, good evening, and once again, welcome to One Life Stand with Nel Estuya, your Tuesday late night quarantine talk series here on FB Live. I hope everybody's doing fine, and well, for sure, a lot of people are already at home at this time. And sa mga hindi pa po inaantok, then you can hang out with us. And we have another great episode coming up for you. And we have a special guest. She's ready, and I'm very proud to have her in the show for our episode 7. And episode 7 is entitled A Flavor of Honey. Okay, so this is more of a wordplay na malalaman you later once you get to know our guest and the organizations and groups that she's affiliated with. So yes, I will explain later why. But I think for those who are in the hip hop community, I think alam nyo naman yung reason why we behind that title, A Flavor of Honey. Okay, well, so I think she's ready. Okay, so para mas marami tayong mapag-usapan tonight, so I'll just invite her now to share the screen with me since we have so much to talk about. I'd like to thank her for being able to provide the time for this episode. Alam ko napaka-busy niyang tao. And so, without further ado, guys, I'd like to introduce to you my very good friend. She's one of the pioneer rappers of she a rapper, a singer. Sorry, medyo bumagal. And she's part of the 90s rap group for East Flava. Okay, so sa mga sa atin na mga 90s kids, so we know the group, of course. And she's one half of the R&B hip hop duo Bata Flava. And among other things, so she's a founder of Bata Flavor Entertainment, Pinoy Hip Hop is Org, Women's Business Hip Hop, and many others, which we'll talk about later. But for now, let me introduce you guys to her. Our guest for tonight's episode is none other than Miss Jug Honeyluv Ramos. Welcome to the show, Miss Jug. Hello?
Hello, can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Okay, how are you? Good evening. Welcome to the show, Miss Jug. And as you
Good
know, this is
evening.
my very first, yeah, first try. Alam kong sanay na sanay ka na sa ganito, but well, I'm learning from you. So, yeah, as you can see, throughout the whole process of preparing for the episode, ang dami niyang tinuro sa akin. And so, welcome to the show. How are you doing, Miss Jug?
I'm good. Thank you for having me, Nell. I wanted to ask, is my mic
Okay,
too
well,
loud? Is it too loud or too soft yung
I
mic?
think it's so just okay para sa akin.
Okay.
Our our viewers tell us. Yes, but for me, it's okay. Yes.
Okay.
So anyway, yes, welcome to the show. And how are you coping with this pandemic, Miss Ju?
Well, I'm just keeping myself busy. Um, I'm
Mm-hmm.
better this year. Last year was, of course, harder
Mm-hmm.
since it just started, diba? The pandemic just started last year. So
Mm-hmm.
ngayon, I'm more used to it. Are we supposed to speak in
Mm-hmm.
straight English here, or can we speak in Taglish?
Taglish tayo. Sige, Taglish tayo, Miss
Taglish.
Ju. Yes.
No, no, no.
Uh,
It's fine. I mean, we can speak in straight English. I just wanted to
mm-hmm.
know. Um,
Okay.
yeah. So I'm better. I'm.
Mm-hmm.
I've been able to create a routine for myself this year. You know, being able to balance everything. So I'm very busy. You know, even if
Mm-hmm.
I'm most of the time home, staying home and keeping
Mm-hmm.
safe, right? But I am
Yes.
extremely busy. What about you?
You're working from home, right?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, yes, yes. The same with me. So working from home, and well, as I told you earlier, so I've been doing some family responsibility lately, taking care of my baby nephew. So kakapatulog ko
Yeah.
lang. And then, so thank you so much for being patient with me. I know that medyo nagkamadalian ng konti, but you're always there. You have given me this time, like months, many months ago. You promised me and you kept your promise. So sobrang I'm very grateful, Miss Jug, to feature you in the show. And so what about
My pleasure.
well,
My honor,
ngayon
Nell.
sa
My
thank you.
pleasure.
What about sa pagdating sa tugtugan naman? Like of course before the pandemic, we see each other almost at least every other week sa mga events. Pero ngayon, what about the events? Are they all online?
Yeah, I haven't had a physical event since before the
Mm,
pandemic started. It was the last event I had was for the Taal eruption,
mm,
right?
mm,
Back in February 2020. So since then,
mm.
I've just been doing online gatherings here on StreamYard. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yes. And I've been a part of one of them, or two of them,
Yes.
siguro. So in the past, so that's why I got to know about StreamYard because of you, because ito yung ginagamit din nating platform before. And
Yep.
so yes, Miss Jug, for tonight, as I have, told you when I asked you to be a guest on the show, our conversation for tonight, I probably would be asking you things na hindi ko pa natatanong. Matagal na tayo magkaibigan, but I haven't actually had ganitong klaseng talk that I would like to have with you right now. Yung tipong ili-layout ba natin lahat chronologically, how you started, and saan doon yung time na nagkakilala tayo, and then until the present time, and many other questions that we probably didn't get the chance to answer or talk about in the past. So now would be the time for us to talk about that. And so for all my friends and all Miss Jugs fans who are tuned in right now, thank you. Thank you for being with us in the show. If you have any questions for Miss Jug later, so we can answer them maybe. So yes, as I promised today, we will be talking about Pinoy hip hop, but at the same time, as Miss Jug has promised in one of her comments, it's more than hip hop. I think meron pang ibang type of music that we will be talking about during the course of this of the show. So, Miss Jug, maybe we can start first with, well, how did we meet? Tayo muna, siguro, unahin na lang natin.
Um. Hello. Nagfreeze ka, Nell.
So, I was
Yeah. You're freezing a little
oh,
bit.
anyway, there. So we're back. So I was part of Dance Pinoy, which is an online dance magazine, as their editor in chief before. And I noticed na because we have this weekly hit list of different hip hop R&B tracks that uh, Pinoy dancers could dance to. And sabi ko masyadong western lahat. Kailangan magkaroon tayo ng homemade or like something local. And that's when I started searching online. Miss Jug, how do you call this? Friendster days pa nun eh. I found your Friendster, the Pinoy Hip Hop's Friendster page, and that's when I got to unlock,
Really?
this treasury, yeah, of all these homegrown local hip hop R&B tracks. And then natuntun ko na the one responsible for creating the Pinoy hip hop's org was, yes, you, Miss Jug. And that's when we met. I think the first time we met was in Makati. So tama ba? Ito yung okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Say that again. Nag-ano ka kasi, nag-freeze.
Oo, medyo
That,
nag-buffer ng konti. Yeah, but that's how we met, right?
um, yes, I think we met in
Uh-huh.
Makati. Uh,
Mm-mm.
but it wasn't until 2009, maybe.
Mm-mm.
Um,
Yeah,
wow,
late.
you
Uh,
so you already knew about me in Friendster pa 2003, but um
um,
I remember meeting you mga 2009 or 10, which was
uh,
Facebook na siya. So
Facebook na.
I don't remember the Friendster days, but that's good. I mean, if you already found out about what I did
Uh,
back in Friendster, edi okay 'yon, 'di ba? Mas maganda.
Yeah, I just didn't reach out pa because siguro sabi ko
Oh, okay.
of yeah, siguro of course kasi syempre mga ano to mga legends ng
Grabe.
music
Of course
industry.
not.
So
No,
but when
please don't
I
even
w-
call me that, okay?
well,
Don't.
you are. Yeah. So anyway, when I worked with yes, this online dance magazine, so I felt the need not to reach out to you, and that's when we met. Okay. So Miss Jug, one of the things that we're going to discuss for tonight, as I said sa introduction, you are blessed to be right there sa pinakasentro ng mga pangyayari when the golden age of hip hop sa Philippines happened. And this was during the 90s, of course. So going through the different milestones of Pinoy hip hop. So I'm going to just mention, certain we can say achievements and makaka you can add what you know na I definitely would love to hear and you'd like to share with our audience about these many different milestones of Pinoy hip hop, which started as early as 1980s, according sa mga nababasa natin, no? So we have George Javier with his parody of the Sugar Hill Gang uh, track, which is Rapper's Delight. So tama ba na parang yan yung pinakaunang-una na pwedeng mako-consider na hip-hop, Pinoy hip-hop track?
Um, well, it was the first one I heard na
Uh-huh.
rap. Yeah,
Yes.
it was called Naonsing Delight. So
Naonsing
if
Delight, yeah.
yeah, so that was the first I heard anyway.
Mm.
So I guess yes,
Yes,
it would
but
be.
before that kasi we had these yung mga US military bases here sa Philippines. That was yung point of contact na yung the locals got to have these records galing sa US ng mga rap and hip hop or R&B records. So yun yung unang-unang siguro pwedeng doon nagsimula, and then by 1980s we have Naonsing Delight, and then followed by Vincent the Falong. Is that right?
Yeah,
With his, well, I forgot the track, pero Delight
it's
din
no
eh.
something nunal.
Yeah, Mahiwagang Nunal, I
And
think.
yeah, Mahiwag Nunal, I think, and it was it used the beat of,
Mhm.
he used, rest in peace, he used the beat of, I think, Funky Town.
Funky Town, okay.
Uh,
Oh, I got it's
yeah.
another song na may delight sa title, and that is Ispraken Delight. Ispraken Delight by Mr. Vincent De Falong. So 1980s yan. By 1982, so nauso yung mga breakdancing crews na nag-hangout sa mga malls, which would include the Eclipse, which would eventually introduce to us Francis M. You have Info Clash Breakers and Ground Control, where Andrew E was part of. And then, of course, you have the bass rhyme posse with with Mr. J Smooth MC. Siguro by that time na wala pa yung group mismo, but J Smooth was already breakdancing. And then, of course, you have the Rock All
Okay,
Parties crew.
Nell, excuse
Tama
me.
ba? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. There, people are saying they can't see the video. Naka-private ata yung video mo.
Oh, really?
So,
Okay.
yeah,
So
so
yes.
only
So
only your
sige.
friends are able to see it. I'm so sorry to
Okay.
interrupt you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you
Um,
for telling me. So I think I should edit the privacy, no, to make it public. Okay. There. It's done. Okay.
all right, hold on. Let me ask them.
So, ayan. So, sayang. While we're doing that, so I'd like to say good evening to to my teacher, Ma'am Alet Gramata Ramos. Oh, Ramos din siya, Miss Jug. So, si Ma'am Ramos. So, hello daw. So, good evening, Ma'am Ramos. Yeah. And to Adrian, who's my uh, future director and script writer. So we have Jason, my classmate from college, UP Visayas. Good evening, Jason. Thank you for tuning in. So, siguro mahilig ka sa hip hop. So, yes, we're going to talk about that tonight with a very reliable guest as our resource person. Yes, Miss Jug.
Yeah, I'm sending your link. I'm asking them if they're seeing
Uh,
that. These are my friends kasi and my family.
okay.
So,
Yes, of course.
yeah, naka-private pala your ano your video. So they can't see
Sorry.
it.
Yeah. So now
Um,
it's in public na. So nakaset na siya in public. And
I'm waiting for
so
them to
to confirm.
let me know. Yeah. Hold on,
Yes.
please.
Okay. So while you're doing that, I'd like to say good evening to all those who tuned in sa ating show. We have Dan Mendoza. We have my sister, si Isai, who's doing the night shift. And then okay, who else? So hindi ko mabuksan, no?
All
So
right.
anyway,
I'm
yes,
sorry. I think it's cool now.
it's okay now. Okay, all
I
right.
believe so.
So
All
yeah,
right.
okay. So good evening once again. Welcome to One Life Stand with Nel Estuya. And well, we have our guest, Miss Jug Honeyluv Ramos. So, of course, her family knows her na nakaka-tune in lang because hindi lang ma-access before. And sa mga fans ni Miss Jug, yes, so I'm very happy uh, to have the pleasure of her company tonight. And so, yes, so far, wala pa naman kaming masyadong mahabang usapan. So, okay lang. Wala naman kayo masyadong na-miss. So, we were basically just starting to, warm up. And we're talking about the whole context of hip hop by going into the very source, which is the birth of Pinoy hip hop. And yun nga, Miss Jug, no, we talked about it starting in the 1980s. Although the golden age talaga is yung time ninyo, 90s. Medyo unti-unti lang ng 1980s with yun nga, George Javier, Vincent Dafalong, and all these breakdancing crews na by that time, sanay silang yung hangout lang sa mga malls, no, and that's where they perform.
Yes.
Ayun,
That's
okay.
that's what they told me, because during the
Mm,
time when the late 80s happened or the early 90s
mm.
happened, I was already in the States then. So
Yes, yeah.
I didn't witness, the b-boys, or the
Mm,
people going to the malls. So
yes.
everything I know about that, the mall stories, are
Mm.
all
Kwento
they
sa'yo.
were told to
Oo.
me by my guests and
Mm.
my friends. So
Okay. And
yeah,
Miss Jug, I didn't even know na kahit si Andrew E. and si Francis M. started with breakdancing. I thought sa rap na talaga sila
yeah.
na-introduce agad. Pero they started as B-boys pala. Okay. So we have, of course, pagpasok ng 1990, ito na talaga yung nag-start na yung golden age of Pinoy hip-hop. By that time siguro naka-gain na tayo ng identity natin kung ano yung Pinoy hip-hop, no? Because by 1990, Francis M released Yo, yung album with the very popular track Mga Kababayan. That's 1990. At the same time, Andrew E's Humanap Ka ng Pangit is 1990. And then Michael V's, what's that? Yung parang, yung, ang tawag doon, yung kanyang response to that song. 1991. Yeah, Maganda ang Piliin, which was 1991. And then, papalapit na tayo sa inyo, no? But before that, Bass Rhyme Posse is 1991 din. Tama? Yes, tama ba, Master Boo? 1991 din yata sila, Miss Joe, right?
I believe so, because they were already out when because I
Mm.
came here in 92 eh. So 92
Oo, yes.
nakalabas na sila, Bass Rhyme Posse and the other group na grupo din.
Rapacia.
Yes. So they were already
Rapacia,
out by the
yes.
time I came here. Um
Yeah.
yep.
Okay. So that was 1991. So 1991, Miss Jug, nasa Philippines ka na nun.
I was still in the US and
US
then
pa.
yeah. Yeah.
Because the following year, 1992, that's when Master Plan became popular. And then,
Uh
yes.
they were working on their album, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Yeah, around
Okay.
92, 93, if I'm not mistaken.
92.
If I
So medyo
if I remember
nauna,
correctly. Yeah.
okay. Pero nauna sila ng konti sa inyo.
Yes,
Master Plan
yes.
or sabay?
Uh
Okay. And by that time, mas na-solidify pa ni Francis M yung, pagiging leading figure with Pinoy hip-hop with Tayo'y Mga Pinoy, second album, 1992. And then, yun na, papasok na kayo. 1994 would be For East Flava, right?
yes.
1994, tama
Yes.
ba? Okay.
Correct.
And
That I know for
what?
sure.
Oh, yes. So
That I
that
know for
was,
sure, yeah.
of
August
course.
Our
So
album was released August of 1994, if I'm not
August
mistaken.
there.
But we
So,
were already introduced to the public, performing
mm,
publicly as early as um, December 1993. We were already
93.
performing, yeah, in different places as we were recording our album. But
Mm,
officially, the album was launched in August. So I guess the
uh,
group was also launched around that time, maybe around June, July, August of
mm.
1994. Yeah.
Okay. So yes, to all my friends, so yes, we have here none other than Miss Jug Honeyluv Ramos of that group we're talking about for East Flava sa lahat ng mga kaklasiko, mga batang 90s. So yeah, she's actually here, So we've been dancing to Check the Hood. As we have seen it in Itbulagaba or saan yung unang guesting nila. Basta napanood namin sa TV. And then can you believe that? Naging friend ko, one of their members, and she's here with us. So mga bagong kaka-tune in lang. So once again, we have Miss Jug Hanila Ramos, taking us back to that time, 1994, when For East Flava released Check the Hood in the month of August, right? So, as you said, Miss Jug, paano yung ano ninyo dito? By that time, radio pa talaga, no? Like, well, of course, wala pang music video masyado.
Wala pa masyado, but there
Mm.
was
Oo.
we were supposed actually they released a
Mm,
um we were supposed to have a music video. I know they released it, but the day of
mm,
the shoot, I was
mm.
hospitalized.
Oh,
Right?
so
So hindi
anong
ako
nangyari?
they had to
Hindi natuloy.
reschedule another day at a different location.
Mm,
Um but I'm thinking if that I think that might have been the commercial that I'm thinking of where when we
mm,
had to shoot it
mm.
and then it was rescheduled because I was hospitalized. But you're
Oh,
right,
okay.
there wasn't not everybody was doing music videos pa, diba?
Hindi pa masyado, no? And do you remember anong show yung parang pinaka-launching ano ninyo? Parang performance?
Um, I think if I remember correctly, the first TV performance I did with them
Mm.
was hindi pa ata lumalabas yung album namin. It might have been SST on Channel 7 on
Ah,
GMA 7.
yes, SST, Salo-Salo Together,
Yeah, I
which
think
was 11 a.m. show, no?
yeah, I
Uh,
think I mean that's what I remember as my first one with the group.
uh,
Um Either that or Chibugan na. If you
Chibugan
remember
na.
Chibugan na on RPN 9, I think.
RPN, yes. Well,
Yeah.
I think yes, yung wala pa yung Itbulaga sa GMA by then eh. So I think ito yung kalaban ng Itbulaga, yung SST sa GMA. So ay 12 pa yata sila. So yes, yung time slot nila. So sa lahat po ng mga mas experts sa 90s kasi medyo ano lang ako ng elementary. So paki-correct na lang no if meron akong nasasabing ano parang hindi tama about that time. And good evening to Ate G Magan. So she's tuned in to watch us, Miss Ju. So thank you, guys. And well, I'd like to ask you, Miss Jug. I don't know. Siguro natanong ka na over the years about this. How come na misunderstood Check the Hood as a diss towards Master Plan?
Really?
Um,
I didn't know that.
Oh, really? You didn't? For some now, yeah. So there were some rumors na nagpo-floating around. No? It's misunderstood as that. Alam ko naman magkaibigan kayo kasi of course by hanging out through hanging out with you for some time. Alam ko palagi you always refer to them in good terms naman kayo. So what do you think? What do you think made some misunderstood this track, Check the Hood, as a diss towards Master Plan?
Huh. It might have been the lyrics of
Uh,
my group mate in the first like the first verse of the song might have been that one.
okay.
Right?
So,
Because
sige.
if there's a part there kasi that you know how master plan it's a slang for master plan, right?
Yeah, yes.
So my friend, my group mate used that word, who's
Mm.
the master, something like that in the first verse. So that's probably
Oh,
why. Yeah.
okay. Okay.
Like he was questioning, that's it.
I see. Wow, that's
Yeah.
parang juicy tidbit yan. Ngayon ko lang nalaman yan. Sige, sige nga, papakinggan
Probably
ulit sa atin mamaya.
hey, I don't know
Ah,
for sure why they thought that,
ah,
but I that might have been it. Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, but I'm right, right? You're okay, okay kayo eh. And of course, death threat also was at that time, kasabayan niyo ba sila or they came later?
No, they went before. There were
Before.
yeah, there were four of us kasi, four groups
Mm.
that really
Mm.
and kami yung nahuli. So I if I
Mm.
remember correctly, might have been master plan then death threat, or baka death
Mm.
threat na una tapos master plan, and then
Mm.
legit misfits and then kami.
Legit misfits? Okay.
Oo.
Yes. So
Yun
of
yung
course,
naalala ko.
so when it comes to Pinoy gangster rap, sila bang nagpaumpisa na yung death
Death
threat, may
threat?
gusto kong pumait or may iba pa?
Uh, well, you're talking about hip hop, so it's a wide spectrum. There's
Uh,
underground. So, but if
mm,
you're talking about, uh, you know, those who signed under a major label,
Mhm.
it might have been death threat.
Sila, okay.
Yeah. Kasi
And and
I cannot confirm with you, Nel, who sino nauna eh,
oo, yeah.
because there are numerous underground
Um,
groups already
mm,
forming.
mm.
Actually, majority
Okay,
of the groups were underground. Only a few were,
okay.
di ba, were being signed eh.
Uh,
So,
yes.
yeah.
Okay, so thank you for that. So towards the late 90s, so we have Pamilya Dimagiba by 1997 with who once again brought into the spotlight yung mga socially conscious hip hop lyrics na sinimulan ni Francis M. And then by that year also Donggalo Records was the very first Pinoy rap label. Is that right? Na na nag-exist.
95. Yeah,
95.
95
Okay.
yon. Yep.
Ayun. So, thank you so much for that. So now at least we understood yung or na-review natin that very special time, the golden age of Pinoy hip hop, or the first
Madami pa
one.
yon. May mga
Yes, marami
lumabas pa
pa.
nung ano, you mentioned the Pamilya de Magiba in 97, but there were other groups that came out in
Mhm.
95,
Yeah.
96, 97. There's numerous like Urban Flow,
Oo.
H-Bomb,
Mhm.
Chill came out with their solo album, I believe, in 97.
Oo.
Seven Shots of Wisdom
Seven Shots of
also.
Wisdom, of course. Yan.
SVC, the first,
Oo.
I think was 96. So, super,
Mhm.
talagang
Marami
dumami na
pa.
siya. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Sobrang
So,
dami
tama.
na.
And
Ah,
I'm glad na, nandito ka to acknowledge all these groups, no? Kasi parang ako, by memory ko lang din siya dinidiscuss because of course siguro hindi ko na rin matandaan yung iba and of course ito ilang decades ago and so well, more or less na we were able to parang ma-locate na yung context, no, historically of where you started sa music industry. So that's the next thing naman na pag-uusapan natin, Miss Joe. And this is the first time that I will actually have a chronological parang idea of how you started sa industry. So we will be talking about your career timeline. So, ito, hindi ko alam if you grew up sa States or dito ba sa Philippines? Start tayo dun sa talagang bata ka pa. Yeah, kung saan ka
uh,
nanggaling. Yes.
I was born here and then migrated
Mm.
to the US,
Ah,
basically. So,
okay.
in the US, I was exposed to I we migrated to New York, so I was
Mm.
naturally exposed to the hip hop culture, right?
Okay.
Living
At what
in,
age, Miss Ju?
I'm not
At
gonna
what age
mention
did you
that.
migrate? Ah, sige. Ay, sige, sige. Oh, no problem. Okay, but yes, enough for you to have
Yeah.
this consciousness na
Yes.
sa music styles, especially
Yep.
since I think sa New York ka talaga naka-base doon, right? The center of hip hop culture.
I was in the suburbs of New York, which was about,
Mm-hmm.
of course, there are numerous suburbs, but I lived about, let's say, about an hour from
Mm-hmm.
Manhattan,
Uh-huh.
from New York City. So I was friends with a lot of people who were living in the city, living in
Uh-huh.
the suburbs, living in the Bronx, those areas,
Uh-huh.
Brooklyn, where I was friends with different sorts of people, different kinds of people. So I was really exposed to the hip hop culture over there. Yeah,
Okay. And you, of course, completed your studies
there.
while in the States, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then, Miss Jug, is it anything art related or music related, whatever you
Uh,
majored in?
business related.
Business related. Okay.
Yeah,
And then,
the music related
uh,
couldn't happen even if I wanted to.
oh yeah. I mean, I think
Yeah.
medyo napag-usapan natin ng konti 'yan nung time na nagiinuman tayo before or nagdi-dinner. So anyway, yes, so at what year did you actually come back to the Philippines? Kasi I think, yeah, 1994 kayo na-launch as for East Flava, but of course, nandito ka earlier than that. So,
92.
1992. Ah,
Yes.
mabilis lang 1992 and then 1994, you have a record agad.
Yeah,
Yes.
I
So,
was quite blessed. I met the right
yeah, that's
people,
really,
and I actually met
uh-huh.
them. I met them not even being here a year. My
Oh,
group mates,
okay.
I met them like I must have been here maybe about less than 9 months, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So it
Mm-hmm.
happened quite fast. So
Okay.
yeah,
Miss Jug, before going back to the Philippines, nagpe-perform ka na rin sa States.
yes, I
Okay,
was
and
doing yeah, I was doing musical theater in the States, community
uh-huh.
theater, musical theater,
Yes.
and of course doing amateur singing stuff on the side.
Okay.
But I
Mm-hmm.
was basically studying there and working a lot. So I was a
Mm-hmm.
working student, and
Mm-hmm.
then my passion was always music. So I would always
Mm-hmm.
find a way to balance my life that way. And I was
Mm-hmm.
able, before coming back to the Philippines, I was able to do musical theater for a year over
Oh,
there.
okay. And ever since ano ka ba? Ever since like teenager, you were already performing, or is there a specific age? Was there a specific age na you started?
As far as I know, as are you talking about professionally or
Uh,
just
yes.
oh
Not professionally, like yung the actual
ah
performing experience, like my public and
as a child, yeah, as a
as a child
child,
talaga.
yeah,
Okay.
elementary days, yep, yes.
Yes. And so before we talk about yung face na nasa Pilipinas ka na, I'd like to say good evening to someone from Dubai, my very good friend, Mr. Jazz Reyes. Sir, good evening. Thank you for the support as usual.
Good
So
evening po.
anyway, yes, we have Miss Jug Honeyluv Ramos, and so to those who just tuned in, and so now we're going to talk about when you finally were here in the Philippines. So these people, the right people na sinasabi mo that you've met them while even while you were still in the US, right? As sabi mo earlier. Ah,
No,
no. Dito na mismo sa Philippines then.
yeah, here.
Ah,
Everything,
okay.
uh, when I came here, I had no intention of staying here,
Ah,
right?
okay.
It was
Bakasyon
just,
lang, oh.
yeah, it was supposed to be for a family. I came home for
Mhm.
my cousin's wedding.
Mhm.
So I had plans of going to school to do
Mhm.
musical theater in the States or chef
Okay.
school, one of them.
Okay.
Um, but I came back here and then I because I planned to stay at least 3 months here, 3 4 months. But
Mhm.
then I started meeting people, so
Uh-huh.
one thing led to another, and then until I met the people who were forming a rap group, and
Mhm.
they saw me
Mhm.
perform. I rapped. I did a
Mhm.
cover song of Moni Love. That's why my name's Honey Love. It's because of
Ayun.
Moni Love. Yep. And
Yes.
that's how I met them. I mean, I was just going out and just having fun, performing here and there here in the Philippines, and
Mhm.
of course, I was the type back then where when an opportunity came and knocked, I would take it.
Mhm.
Because that was
Uh-huh.
foremost my passion. Even if I had
Yes.
I had the plan to go back to the U.S. to continue, well, to further because I did business, but I wanted to go into musical theater or chef
Mhm.
school. You know,
Mhm.
but the music opportunity, being part of a group here, getting signed under a major label here, it all happened so quickly. That's why I said
Mhm.
that I am very blessed. um
Mhm.
when I first came here, it was a dream come true for me. It just
Mhm.
happened. It's like
Mhm.
I always said it this way, that the Lord just laid it down on my lap
Mhm.
and for me to
Yes.
take, to
Mhm.
grab. And against the wishes of my parents, I stayed here in the
Mhm.
country and chose to go for it because my parents wanted me to go back to the States, of course, and
Uh-huh.
continue what I was doing over there or my plans over there. but
Okay.
I chose the opportunity that knocked here.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, yes, as you said, parang it literally just fell on your lap, no, that opportunity. And hindi mo naman
Yep.
siya napag-isipan na, okay, ito yung gagawin ko sa Pilipinas.
Yep.
So, okay, while, so ganun pala siya. And for those who are
Yep.
asking, lalo tayong mga friends ni Miss Jug, where did that name, the stage name, come from? So that's Moni Love, right? So,
Yeah.
who's also popular by then. So that's where the inspiration, that's where it came from. And then,
But but excuse
mhm.
me, I didn't give
Yeah.
myself that name. It was my group mate
Oh,
who
okay, okay.
because I was working and they had to like throw in a name for me because they were,
Mm,
putting together the group, and then I was working so I wasn't available. And then sabi niya sa akin,
mm,
"Jug, okay lang ba sa'yo kung Honeyluv since Monilove yung isa sa mga favorite female rappers in the States, right?
uh,
From Moni
uh,
Love. And if you guys don't know who Moni Love is, Moni Love was very progressive. She was an old school era rapper, a female MC, but her
mm,
flow was advanced.
uh,
Her lyricism and her flow was is advanced. All right,
mm,
for that
mm,
era, for that time.
mm,
So
mm.
I really liked Moni Love at the time. So sabi nung groupmate ko, okay na ba sa'yo yung Honey Love? So I'm like, kahit na hindi pa ako nakakapag-isip, because everything was
Mm.
moving so fast, remember, right? Everything
Yeah.
moved so fast when I was here.
Yes.
And I'm like, all right, so pinanindigan ko na lang yung yung Honey Love na yon.
Yung honey love.
Yeah,
So I
and then I
wonder
put my name.
where they got the honey, no? Because yeah, that's the title of our episode. So a flavor of honey. So flavor obviously from from Four East flavor and Butter flavor. And then so these are your group mates mismo from Four East na nag name sa'yo, Miss Jug,
Yung
no?
yung isa sa kanila.
Yung isa
Oo,
sa
yung
kanila. Yes.
oo.
And I had the privilege to meet naman all
Si
of
Von.
them.
Si Von.
Uh,
That's right. You met them during our reunion.
the reunion, yes.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah, that time in Custom Thread na, yan, yung picture natin sa poster, yan yung time na yon that you had
Yeah.
this reunion. And Miss Jug, so speaking of, you're talking about that time and Moni Love being, progressive female artist estates. What about here in the Philippines? How many female rappers by then were already performing or yung nakilala na or was there's not much, di ba? I mean, during that
During my
time,
before we came out as a
mm,
group, they were Lady Diane
Lady Diane,
And MC Lara. They were solo
yes,
female rappers
solo
here.
female
They both had
rappers, yes.
albums. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so tama ba sa Sadami? That's the track,
Yep.
right? With by
Yep.
Lady Diana. Yeah, so yeah, very 90s nga talaga. And 1994 when finally you had, so parang 2 years nyo lang, you had 2 years before the actual launching of your for East Flava. For the first album, how long did it take you to create, to prepare for that?
Um, Less than a year. It was very
Less than a
fast.
year. Very
Yeah.
fast, yeah. And so okay, and because I've listened to all of it, and yes, I could see the really parang 90s flavor talaga na some are katunog din ng mga iba pang mga 90s rap group na hindi lang dito sa Pilipinas but sa States like um, well, who sang Bonita Applebaum. I forgot the name, but maybe the sound of
Tribe called
A Tribe
Quest.
Called Quest. Yes, of
Yep.
course. So Miss Jug, so after that, so you released the album, and then after that, nasundan ba siya nung pangalawang yung sophomore na album
Yes. Yeah, but it was released independently na. We weren't part of
independently?
a, yeah,
Mm.
independently na. And this was already in early 2000s.
Okay.
But we recorded a second album
Mm.
in the mid 90s, like right after the
Mm.
first album came out, but we never got to finish it. It never was
Mm.
released. And then we
Mm.
recorded another one in the late 90s. And
Mm.
then yun yung lumabas under an independent label. So the independent labels were starting
Ah,
to come out then. So that
yes.
was, if I remember correctly, 2002, something like
Mm.
that. Yung album na
Okay.
yon. Yeah.
So, puwede rin natin sabihin na spearhead niyo rin yung independent movement, pagdating sa,
Hindi
or
naman.
you're among
I'm
the
not sure. Maybe among, but
ah,
I'm not sure na we
okay.
spearheaded it. No, I'm sure that
Okay.
yeah,
May
yeah. We
mga
don't
iba
want to
rin.
say that.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
anyway, after 4 East Flavas, so then that's when you started immediately the duo ba ng Bada Flavor or nag-solo ka muna?
Um. Okay. So for East Flava, and then we worked on the second album. That's
Mm.
then my group mate brought in one of our dancers who is a
Mm.
singer,
Mm.
and then I brought in my friend Gazelle as a
Mm.
singer. So we
Mm.
added a flavor na more singing for the second
Ah,
album of Voice Flavor.
ah.
Like a lot of, we wanted to emphasize the singing talaga, a lot of the
Mm.
singing. Kasi in the first
Okay.
album, I was the one singing, right? Pero
Mm.
simple lang. So
Mm.
we brought in two singers, a guy and a
Mm.
girl, para
Mm.
mas maging maganda yung kalabasan ng mga songs namin for the second album. Like there would be more musicality, there would be a lot of vocal arrangements in
Mm.
addition to the rappers. And then so after that, my sister heard a song of mine and Gazelle's, which was part of that album, and my
Mm.
sister said that I think my sister's watching. She was one of
Hello.
them. Look, I'm not sure if she is, but kanina kasi she was trying to watch it. But she
Oh.
was the one who said that you guys should sing more because your voices sound good together. And at the time, I already started the underground crew, Butterfly
Mm.
Entertainment,
Mm.
which my goal was really to help go into the underground scene and discover artists
Mm.
in Laguna, in the South
Mm.
area, and then really start pushing the hip hop culture and discovering people there para
Mm.
tumuklas.
Ah.
And then naisip ko nga dahil since naging like parang we were thinking of a name, naisip ko butter is a slang at the
Mm.
time, bara for butter,
Mm.
which meant smooth, 'di ba? It was
Mm.
a slang word at the time, at that era.
Mm.
And so naisip ko yung bara flavor. And then so when Gazelle and I decided to go into R&B, a
Mm.
lot of like more singing of a duo, and we
Mm.
were the only ones at the time, a female duo singing R&B, hip hop.
Mm.
So kami yung parang naging pinaka-leader ng Bara Flava Entertainment. That's why we just simply called ourselves Bara Flava para lang maging madaling matandaan. And then the rest of the
Okay.
crew were under Bara Flava Entertainment, and then it was naging BFE family. Very simple, I'm not really good with names, to tell you the truth, like group names. I
Mm.
never had I would never like I would always be like, what's a good name? And I'll be like, "Alright, tama na 'to, okay na 'to." Gano'n. Hindi ako yung
Ah,
mahilig
ah.
mag-ano talaga ng matagal. So
Mag
that's what
like
happened.
deliberate.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
That was around what time na? So when you started Bata Flava Entertainment, as headed by you and Gazelle, na duo na, this was 2000s na.
remember it was the 20th anniversary of BFE last
Oh
month.
yes, of course,
So it
yes.
was
So
2001. Yeah.
how could I forget? Sinasabi ko pa ng sarili ko na
Sabay mo,
unofficial, yes,
sabay
unofficial
mo.
member ng Bata Flava Entertainment as
Yes.
ano no, as host. Pero nalimutan ko,
Yes.
I'd like to say congratulations. Last September, you celebrated the 20th anniversary of
Yes.
Bata
Thank you.
Flava Entertainment. So I'm glad to have
Thank you,
been
Nell.
part of the events na ginawa ng Bata Flava Entertainment for this past decade of 2010s.
Thank you,
past
Nell.
years of 2010. Yes, thank you. I must thank you for me because all these experiences sobrang nakapagbigay sa akin ng confidence to even do this, before you gave me your trust,
Come
to
on.
post something even. So wala yan eh. Parang it was you actually who gave me that that possibility na pwede pala, pwede. Like I remember yeah, so ano muna tayo sa timeline ni Miss Jug, no? When Goyo was released, and then that's when reunite kami ni Miss Jug ulit after many years na wala kaming balitaan. That's when you offered to have me as co-host for Jambonga, which was a program ni Miss Jug in DZME. And from there, yeah, it built up my confidence na to do this. So, and then
That's
si Miss
awesome.
Jug naman, she never backed down naman talaga na like, sige, tuloy-tuloy, binigyan ng opportunities to host other events. And then, so that's how, this whole hosting thing started for me. So thank you, Miss Jug, for that.
No, thank you, Nell. Thank you. I should be the one thanking you. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So anyway, after you had the Bata Flava Entertainment now, which is 20 years, it's still going strong. And so what about Gazelle? So with Bata Flava as a duo, you, of course, I've heard your tracks and I've seen your performances. So you had albums then, Miss Jug,
No,
for
we just had songs. We had an
mm,
al well, yeah, we had an album.
mm,
Uh, well, if you want to talk about the entire BFE or Butterflavor Entertainment, oh yes, we did have different underground albums. So
underground albums.
when I say
Mm.
underground, ito talaga yung um, Hello Sir Noel. Ito talaga
Yes.
yung
Hello,
yes.
Direct Noel. Yes.
Yes. Ito talaga yung ano when I say underground, these were the sound click days. So these were the
Mm.
times na nauso na yung mga uh, magkakakilala ka na sa internet, people
Mm.
from around the world making
Mm.
music,
Mm.
sound click. Before there was SoundCloud or Bandcamp now or whatever
Mm.
that's SoundCloud or whatever is popular now, there was
Mm.
SoundClick, right?
Mm.
And I believe SoundClick is still around. Yan, may ano, nag-Reverb Nation din about ng
Ah.
2010. Um, so during that time, we were like underground talaga. So there were a lot of downloaded beats being offered in SoundClick, right?
Ah.
At the time, kasi
Ah.
nagpapakilala pa lang yung mga, nag-uusbungan yung mga beat makers from all around the
Yes.
world. So
Ah.
they were giving a lot of beats out, use it, just give them
Mm.
credit, whatever, whatever, whatever. So at the time, dial-up era pa yon right? So
Yes. Ah.
napaka-slow pa. So
Mm.
when we say underground, we were just recording songs at my house, my apartment with my
Mm.
mic like this, itong ganitong mic ko lang, right?
Ah.
And
Ah.
makeshift lahat that I would put like speakers lang, and then I
Mm.
downloaded with the help of my friend from the internet.
Mm.
Ganon lang. As in talagang kanya-kanya. So
Oh, okay.
under BFE on, we had a few albums, if you want to call an album. But with Bara Flava na R&B duo na kami ni Gazelle, we had one. We
Okay.
probably did about at least maybe 12
Mm.
songs.
Mm.
And then syempre meron din ako mga solo song na nag-guest siya doon. So madami-dami din
Yes.
siya. Yeah.
Yes. And speaking of that, so that's my
Hi
next.
Joe.
Yes, hello, Joe Hustle. Good evening. Thank you for watching. So yes, since you're talking about the songs na Miss Jugno, so we're going to talk about kung pwede natin tawagin discography. Yes. So this is like the siguro a list of these tracks that you've made, as I told you, either as a solo artist, as a featured artist, as part of a collaboration, and as part of Bata Flava and For East Flava. So the whole track listing ng album na For East Flava, of course, parang comfort sounds ko yan, pinapakinggan ko again and again. Pero I'd like to talk to you about from your own point of view as an artist, which among these songs talaga yung pinaka-importante sa'yo, or you have a memorable uh, connection with these songs. So, yes, we will start with you. And from time to time, I will, of course, ask you about certain songs then na gusto kong makaalam about.
Does it
So,
have does it have to be any from the first album or any song?
kahit saan. Yes. So, doon natin umpisan siguro sa I mean, of course, since brainchild mo lahat ito, so importante sa'yo lahat ng mga songs. But, yes, mag-cite tayo ng siguro yung right now at the top of your head na gusto mong i-share sa amin. So that yung mga friends ko who's not familiar with your other works can look it up.
Oh,
Yes.
all right.
I'd like to say good evening to Ken na paborito niya yung isang song ninyo with Bebe Rizna, which is well, yung pinaka parang catchphrase niya yung natatandaan niya palagi na kinakanta niya yung Too Hot to Handle. So get with me, get on with me. Sorry.
Yeah, get with me.
Get
Get
with
with
me.
me.
Yes. Mhm.
Get with me.
Can we
Too hot
start
to
with that?
handle.
Yes. Can we start with that? Yes, this song was written by you, of course.
No, no, no.
No?
Get with me.
Yes?
That's Riz. That's
Ah,
Bebe Riz's song.
that's
I was just
ah,
her chorus there. That's her song.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, hello
That's
Riz. Okay.
yeah. Yeah.
And so that was you released that 2012
12.
na. Yes,
Yeah.
2012 by the time nandito sa Riz Philippines. Okay, what
Yeah.
about you? Ikaw naman, yung song na you'd like to talk about.
Uh uh so jaded.
So jaded,
Butterflavor.
yeah.
Yes, yes.
Of course, so jaded. And am I right? Ito yung sinasabi ko na kind of having that um, vibe na Alicia Keys and Eve. Parang
Yeah.
may nafe-feel akong ganun. Yan, na nasabi ko sa'yo
Uh
minsan.
yes, yes.
I forgot the title of their song. No? Pero parang, yeah. So, that was part, of course, of your early or the 12 tracks that you did with Bataflavor.
Yeah, so that's the song I wrote. So that's the song I
Okay.
wrote like very quickly.
Yes.
So yeah, that was for Butterflavor. So
And
that
I
was
know,
released
uh,
2003 pa yun, 2003.
2003.
Uh,
Yes. And I know you have this really, it has this special meaning sa iyo talaga, no? Minsan kapag nag-uusap tayo kasi parang you wrote that talaga from experience and yeah, I wouldn't be surprised ito yung nasa top ng list mo na pinaka
yeah, yeah.
important sa iyo. And then you have a track about bata. How do you call that?
Yeah, Ang Bata. So
Ang
that's my
bata.
solo. Yeah, that's my
Uh-huh.
solo song. I wrote that as well.
I,
That's
I I
part of
love
my
your
solo.
voice there. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, because marami siyang part na kanta talaga, no.
Uh,
Among all your songs. So, yes, yun ang bata, and then you have from For East Flavor. So, of course, you have Check the Hood. Do you have anything that any trivia you'd like to tell us about Check the Hood?
Not Check the Hood.
Ah,
Can we talk about another song besides
all
that?
right. What about Di Lang Walang
Um,
Singaw?
no, if you're gonna ask
Hindi
me,
rin.
ano ba
Mm.
yung, your question was what? Like songs that I wanted to, right?
Yes,
So
or you'd like
from the
to
first,
say something about or comment
from the
about.
first, all
Mhm.
right, from the first album, there was Miss Ya. Kasi I
Mhm.
remember that my dream really was to be a singer, to sing,
Mhm.
right? Hindi mo
Mhm.
alam yun, ano? Hindi mo alam
To
yun.
sing.
Nagkataon lang na nagra-rap ako.
But you're so
So,
good at it na I thought na, it was all along part of your plan talaga.
no,
Wow, I
it was
didn't
really
know that.
singing, but
Mhm.
thank you. I was blessed kasi
Mhm.
nagra-rap ako because being you know, part of my life living in New York, naging culture na nga do'n na nagra-rap. So,
Mm.
napunta ako sa pagra-rap. But when the album of Four East Flava came out, where Check the Hood
Mm.
came from, there were 2 songs there na kumakanta talaga ako. So those were
Okay.
very significant to me. So they were called
Mm.
Miss Ya,
Nisya.
and Fallen.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yes. So from the Four East Flava album, the first
uh,
one.
and
Yes,
then the
I've heard
second
it.
album where Di Lang Walang Singaw is nandun yung, ano nga ba mga magagandang kanta dun?
Second album na
Ah,
yung Di Lang Walang Singaw, Miss Ju.
yeah.
Oh, I
That was
didn't
from the
know that.
second album that was released independently. I think the
Oh,
album that you're saying you have, that's the second album.
the
The first
second
album
one.
is with Check the Hood. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
really? Okay.
since you already
Mm.
mentioned Ang Bata, so
Mm.
I have like a whole bunch of songs that I've written that nobody really knows about, or really they don't
Mm.
really listen to it because they just want to hear party tracks from me, so to speak,
Uh,
right? But
uh,
there was a time when I was working on BFE or Butterfly Entertainment.
mm.
There were a lot of us in the group, so we were working on different underground albums, and part of
Mm.
that was I was working on my solo album na
Okay.
all Tagalog. So doon galing yung Ang Bata. So my
Mm.
my my goal there was all of it was socially relevant. So
Mm.
the social relevance that I am doing now under Gising Diwa. So my current projects are Gising
Yeah.
Diwa and Hip Hop with Christ.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
I was already into doing socially relevant stuff all the way
mm.
back during the BFE or Butterfly Entertainment days with my solo album. Kung saan galing yung Ang
Okay.
Bata. Yun.
And we'll talk about these, no, yung Gising Diwa and all the other uh, groups or projects that you started later, so much later. So
Sure.
for now, yes. So uh, I'd like to ask you now, Miss Jug, about performances, certain performances or co-performers that were memorable to you. I know that you once opened or you performed, uh, you opened for Apple the App uh, or performed side by side with them,
No,
or was it Black Eyed Peas?
it was Black Eyed Peas. So
Black Eyed Peas.
Butterfly,
Mm.
yeah, back in 2004 when the Black Eyed Peas first came here to Manila, their first
Mm.
concert, we were
Mm.
again blessed
Mm.
to be chosen um, by the producers
Uh,
to be one of the opening acts of the concert. And that
wow.
happened at
Uh,
the CCP Open Grounds in May of 2004. And that happened because at the time I was starting to do events, or we were starting to do events, organizing events
mm.
in Manila, in Quezon City in
Uh,
particular, in Libis. So we were
uh,
doing events in Culture Club at the time. It was a very popular spot at the time.
mm.
For those listening, BFE Butterfly Entertainment was not just a group of artists from the underground. We were also event organizers. So we were
Yes.
working very heavily into event organizing, and the owners of the club, right? This is that's why I tell you I was really blessed. Um, I truly believe I was really brought here to just really pursue my dreams here, because I could have met so many other people, or I could have been referred to different bars at the time, right?
Mm.
Because I was looking
Mm.
for venues. One of the owners I first met in Alabang, and
Mm.
I was referred by a friend, Kane of El Latino,
Mm.
to meet the manager of Culture Club, because they were looking for event organizers nga. So I
Mm.
met him, so they liked us, so I started organizing events there, and without knowing, they were the producers of the Black Eyed Peas concert. So
Oh,
when
okay.
so when they started watching Gazelle and I perform as Butterflava, sa awa ng Diyos, 'no, nagustuhan nila kami. So,
Uh,
hindi namin alam, so they called us, they're like, after one of our meetings there, they're like, "Ay, hey, let's talk." And I'm like, Okay po, what?" Ganyan. And I'm thinking they're just like, gonna talk about events or whatever they wanna happen, right? And then all of a sudden they're like, okay, this is on the low for on down low muna, wala muna magkukwento nito. This is still a secret. We're still working on this. So we are producing and bringing the Black Eyed Peas over for a concert, and we would like you both to be the opening act or one of the opening acts. So think about that is an absolute blessing from the Lord when it comes to my dreams, because I met the right people, that again, I didn't, Nel, hindi ko to pinursu ha.
Uh,
I
yeah.
remember ang mindset ko was underground,
Mm,
BFE,
mm,
organize events,
mm.
right? I had
Yes.
wala akong gano'n na iniisip. And then all of a sudden I met it, and it's because of Kane of El Latino, a very good friend, Kane, who's a rapper. He was a
Si
DJ.
Kane. Yeah.
Yeah. He was a DJ at the time, for
Mm,
5.9, a hip
mm,
hop party station here at the time, and
mm.
he connected me to the right people,
Yeah.
'di ba? So, yun yung sinasabi ko sa'yo. It's everything is a blessing. So, for East Flava happen, it was just like nilapag lang sa akin ng gano'n ni Lord,
Yeah.
right? Then the
Yes.
Black Eyed Peas concert, that
Mm,
opportunity. I mean,
yeah.
can you imagine what I felt at the time? I
Yun na
mean,
nga yung tatanong ko eh. I could just imagine, yung reaction na, hey, you're opening for Black Eyed Peas. Oh my God. So,
yeah,
uh, I wonder, how you and Gazelle reacted at that time na, this was happening.
we were shocked because they didn't ask us to sing cover songs. They
Okay.
they included us to perform our original songs, and So Jaded is part of that. So
Uh-huh.
we performed four songs for that concert.
Mm.
And then nagkaroon sila ng rule na bawal magtagalog. I don't know if you
Uh-huh.
heard about that, right? But part of our repertoire at the time, part of the one of the songs that we wrote was called Laruan. It was supposed to
Mm.
be part of that of
Mm.
that the lineup, but we
The
had to
lineup. Uh-huh.
change that. Yeah. So puro English lang yung pwede namin kantahin nun. But it was a
Uh-huh.
very one of the most unforgettable moments of my life was that concert. Um, yeah, I'll forever be grateful for that opportunity and for the people who believed in us and believed in me, and all because of event organizing, Nell. So event organizing really
It
brought
brought you.
on so
Uh-huh.
much.
Yes.
Sa ganyan, when it comes to opportunities, it was just, you know, the background of event organizing, right? Napakahirap.
Ang sakit sa ulo nga at one point tinatanong ko nga kayo ni Gazelle, how do you manage to do this at that time kasi almost every week merong
Yeah,
events. And I was actually planning to learn the ropes from you with my own creative group na when we were starting to launch events then. So I remember that time when si Gazelle, kayong dalawa kausap ko, she was asking me if I'm really serious about it. So she could give me some, tips or show me some tips on how it's done. Because knowing you by that time, may pinopromote kayo palagi every week. And uh,
yeah.
sa, sabi ko nga, paano niyo nagagawa to? Sobrang parang masakit siya sa ulo actually, na dala-dala mo siya. Uh,
Marami kaming kasama, syempre, our
of
crew.
course.
You know, we had our
Uh,
crew from Laguna, you know.
yeah.
Siyempre, 'di ba? Those were the
Yes.
parang ano 'yun eh. So they were aspiring rappers, right? So they were
Uh-huh.
recording at my house, my apartment, and
Mm,
then
mm.
um tulungan, alam din nila that I was organizing events. So
Oo,
'yun, tulungan lang kami. Talagang
tulungan lang
underground nga na
talaga. Oo,
underground talaga na galawan. But
oo,
yeah, that Black Eyed Peas concert was just incredible. Yeah.
yes. And Miss Jug, other than that, do you have any other performances na that you could,
Memorable.
yes, that you could put up
Madami.
there? Ah,
Madami, Nel.
Nako, sa
Well,
iba-ibang
the commercial
mhm,
for GB Shoes as for East
or
Flava,
GB
of
shoe.
course.
Uh-huh.
Um, of course, the performances on television at the time. You know,
Mhm,
when you're dreaming, you know, you're
mhm,
young and you're still pursuing your dreams and your passion. Hitting those milestones is
Mm.
everything. So
Mm.
my first radio interview, and guess who interviewed us? I was
Yes.
Francis
Uh,
Magalona was the first person who interviewed me on
oh,
radio as
I
part of his
wouldn't have
show.
guessed.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
he was hosting then by that time.
Yeah, he had a
Uh,
hip hop radio show, I think, every
uh,
Friday night. So he was the
mm,
first person who got the. We were there as a group for East Leva. So siya ang unang-unang, my experience in radio was with him. Um, Television appearances, of
mm,
course, the mall shows, Black
mm,
Eyed Peas, syempre.
mm.
Of course, the television, the most notable television recent recent now were when I was featured at Tim's "This Is My Story, This Is My Song," hosted by Kuya Junji Marcelo, which
Ah,
was
Cesar Junji. Yes.
yeah, which is highlighting the singer
Mm.
songwriter. So I
Uh,
was very blessed again to be I was there twice. I was
mm-hmm,
featured once for myself and then as a
mm-hmm,
singer-songwriter. And then when they guested Riz,
mm-hmm.
kasama din ako kasi Riz decided to perform Have Faith. And of course,
Uh,
Have Faith is our song under the Christian hip hop or gospel rap song, which is another
uh,
song that's, of course, very memorable and important to me. Um, ang dami nila but
yeah. On the
yeah, if
top
I
of your
remember
head, yes.
more, yeah, kaya
Okay,
binibilisan
yes.
ko siya eh. So, yeah.
Yes. So, well, since we're talking about co-performers, so some of these um, uh, artists na gusto naming itanong sa'yo, they're maybe not necessarily na naging co-performers mo sila, but still you were able to work with them. So I'd like to ask you about them since mga haligi sila ng Pinoy hip-hop din. How was it with Francis M? So he interviewed you. How was he as as a fellow artist and as a person?
Um, well, from what I remember,
Mm.
starstruck pa ako nun eh. Alam mo yon.
Uh-huh.
So,
Uh-huh.
syempre he was serious, he was doing the show. I think the show, if I remember, his show was 3 hours every Friday night. I think,
Mm.
I could be wrong. Um, Siyempre business, siyempre fun, then
Mm.
we didn't really get to we never got to work together, Nell. It was just the
Uh-huh.
interview and then minsan magkikita
Mm.
kami sa bar, ganyan. That's it,
Uh-huh.
my experience with
Uh-huh.
Francis. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention about unforgettable performances. So
Yes.
recently, yeah,
Mm.
recently, so I got to perform with people outside of the hip hop community. So these are legends
Mm.
outside the hip hop community. So these are Scarlett Brown of
Oh,
Putris,
yes.
formerly of Putriska, lead singer of Brown Beat All Stars. Uh,
Yes.
Kuya or Sir Rom Donggeto of Buklod, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
Brutus, Cap Brutus, Ryan Lindy Brutus, the drummer of
Mm-hmm.
so many bands, kasama Brown Beat, kasama yung mga yan. So when we all went to Mindanao, you know that trip, 'di ba? The
Yes.
one
Oh, so kasama niyo si Tapati and
yes, yes.
uh,
So that was
during that event.
remember that? So that was
Mm-hmm.
an unforgettable moment for me traveling to
To
Marawi,
Mindanao.
to
Yes.
Mindanao uh
During that time.
during
I
that time
remember
2 years
that during
ago.
that time kasi you had the launching performance sa Conspiracy Bar that
Yep,
night, pero kinabukasan yata yung flight niyo na rin agad to Mindanao.
hindi ko na maalala eh.
Oh, so parang
Baka
I remember parang
yeah,
sobrang ano kayo nun, medyo
heck,
parang you're a bit in a parang nagka-cram ng konti. But I
ah,
was very excited for you kasi it's a tour, 'di ba? Marami kayong
ah,
pinuntahan
ah,
for that and for that event. And yes, of course,
yun,
Miss Scarlett, we've sat down, talked to her. What an
yeah.
incredible woman! Another one of the legends of the 90s na
Yeah.
yeah
Oh,
na
yeah.
hindi natin malilimutan. But um, I'd like
But
to ask you
sorry,
also.
sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't mean to
Mm.
interrupt you there. So go
Mhm.
ahead.
Of course.
No, no,
Yes.
no, go ahead.
Lately mo lang ba ito ginawa na like you started performing with artists from genres outside hip hop?
Remember that my goals were changing as the
Mm-hmm.
years progressed, right?
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
as the years progressed, I changed my priorities.
Mm-hmm.
So as my desire to create more significant songs occurred,
Mm-hmm.
more opportunities came about to work with people from different genres. But it never was my intention not to work with them, even when I
Uh-huh.
was younger. Remember that
Mm-hmm.
my dream really was to be a musician, or is to be a
Mm-hmm.
musician, to be a singer, to
Mm-hmm.
be a songwriter, 'di ba? Yun talaga yung anak ko. I was just very blessed to be discovered in the hip hop community because of my capability to rap.
Mm-hmm.
And so syempre when I was younger, I was focused on hip hop, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we were always putting songs there. We were always I our my songs were always rap and singing. Hindi siya puro rap, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then as I got, as my priorities changed, and as I started formalizing different movements,
Mm-hmm.
coming from BFE, because I had a mission and a vision with BFE. And to be able
Mm-hmm.
to fulfill those, I would have to change the particular mission of a certain movement. Halimbawa, Pinoy Hip Hopas, it had a different advocacy. It had a
Mm-hmm.
different mission. And
Mm-hmm.
then when I moved to going to Gising Diwa, of course, Gising Diwa, that I would find a lot of musicians outside of the hip hop community who were more inclined, or who were more serious at working with socially relevant tracks. Not that I'm
Uh,
here at not that I'm saying that the hip hop community here does not like to do socially relevant. Meron din, kaya lang
mm-hmm.
kalat-kalat. So
Mm-hmm.
minority siya, minority.
Uh,
But again, I'm blessed that
mm-hmm.
at a time when I'm quieting down, right?
Mm-hmm.
At a time when I'm quieting down as a hip hop artist, all of a sudden people outside the hip hop community from different genres are starting to look for rappers,
Mm-hmm.
right? So of
Mm-hmm.
course, Scarlett is a friend and who believes in me, and she's a blessing to me by the Lord, I tell you, because she has really been very supportive of women's business hip hop. Let's not forget that, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So every time there were opportunities, even when Riz was still here, when Deborah Riz was still here, she would every time she would have a project, and even Junji, Kuya Junji, anytime they would need a rapper, female, sa akin sila lalapit, sa akin sila
Uh,
magbibigay ng project. So, it was always there, the
mm-hmm.
opportunity or the desire to work with different genres. So,
Okay.
that's it.
And it just happened then, no? Parang katulad ng mga iba pang mga past blessings mo, this just happened. Kasi
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
I I remember distinctly na like, I've known you, yun nga, so late 2000, early 2010s. It's all exclusively hip hop artists that you usually work with or feature sa events mo. And then, when we had this parang break, no, na matagal tayong hindi nagkaroon ng parang correspondence when I got busy with my other projects outside dance and music. So then when the time that we reunited, parang dun ko na observe na si Miss Jug is doing events na rin and collaborations with artists from other music genres.
Yeah,
So that's
because
why I asked you that.
we started Blended, the
Mm-hmm.
series of mixed genre events in 2013. So that was the time that you
Mm-hmm.
were very busy with your film, with your TV
Uh-huh.
and theater. So
Mm-hmm.
2013, I decided to like talagang invite mas madami na mga bands, like
Uh-huh.
kalahating banda, kalahating different
Mm-hmm.
genre, and kalahating hip hop. But it doesn't
Yes.
mean na, I just want to make this clear that it doesn't mean that all my past events before
Mm-hmm.
Blended were exclusively for hip hop. No, we would
Oh, okay.
still have, you know, one or two maybe na outside of the hip hop genre or
Mm-hmm.
rap genre, if you want to call it
Mm-hmm.
that. But I made it, like officially, really dedicating an annual event to like really highlighting a lot of my friends that are not in the hip hop community, and called it Blended. And that began in 2013 because that was the time when Riz and I were heavily pushing women's business hip hop, and we were performing
Yes.
in the band, the underground band scene. So we were female MCs, female rappers doing hip hop,
Mm.
performing in
Mm.
the underground band scene. That began in
Mm.
2013. So,
Ah.
ganun yung strategy namin nung time na yon. We were not only performing in the hip hop scene, we were going
Mm.
in the deep underground, and we had a lot of supporters then. Again, Nell, blessed when it comes to support.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, forever grateful.
Yeah, so you just parang na-meet mo yung the right people
Yeah.
throughout your growth, no? And Miss Jug, since we're already talking about this, working with artists from different genres. I've always known naman na you have an eclectic taste in music, eh. uh, Before. So we could talk about artists from many different genres na uh, people wouldn't probably expect for you to be crazy about even. And like even me, I didn't know that you're a big fan of Debbie Gibson at one
Oh
point.
yeah.
So
Oh
yeah,
yes.
so
Up.
and
Oh yeah. Of course.
uh, Peebles ba? Or yeah, or dalawa sila eh. Sino yung sinasabi mo isa pa? Peebles ba and Debbie Gibson? Or
Peoples,
may isa?
hindi. Baka yung
Yeah.
mga kanta. Siyempre, I
Yeah,
also like
pero
love
dalawa
songs,
sila
di
eh.
ba? Ay,
I think
nagpunta
dalawa
dito.
silang na-feature dito sa Philippines na
Si
pinanood mo.
Tiffany yon, si Tiffany.
Tiffany. Yes.
Yeah, so
Okay, yeah.
love song, mga ballad love songs naman yung mga yon. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
of course I also
Yes,
love
exactly.
those. Yeah,
Ganyan yung
yeah,
reaction mo when I ask you, sabi ko, Miss Juke, nakikinig ka pala. Of course! Like with that
yeah.
kind of tone talaga na, of course, yeah. So anyway, before we move on to that, because we're going to talk about, yung musical tastes mo. I'd like to just say hi to the best hairstylist in Marikina and Rizal, Lester. Hello, Lester. Good evening, and thank you for tuning in to watch me and Miss Jug talk about hip hop tonight. Okay, so yes,
Hi
when it
guys.
comes when it comes to musical taste, and also siguro isama na rin natin Miss Jug yung influences mo as a musical artist. So sino-sino and ano-ano yung mababanggit natin dito?
Ooh,
I really would like to know din eh kasi since galing ka sa New York and yung orientation mo is basically siguro doon and I don't know if while you were there nakikinig ka rin ng mga artists from the Philippines. So who could we consider as your influences?
Moni Love, of
Moni
course.
Love, of
The
course, yeah.
rapper, no? Moni
Mm-hmm.
Love, Queen Latifah, the old school rappers,
Mm-hmm.
Public Enemy, Kara
Mm-hmm.
S1, uh,
Mm-hmm.
um, sa R&B naman, En
Mm-hmm.
Vogue, which was they were four women. They were
Yeah,
before Destiny's Child, so they're
yeah,
heavy influence. I love them. Pagdating sa vocal arrangement nila, their musicality, they were just incredible
yeah.
musicians and performers. Um, ang dami, sobrang dami. But at the top
Well,
of my
I
head,
heard
yan
you,
ang mga talagang
yes.
importante.
I
Yeah.
heard you belt out or perform one of those salt and
Yeah.
pepper
Of course,
tracks
Salt
in
and
one of the
Pepper,
events. And
Shoop.
nagti-TLC ka rin, 'di ba? So,
Yeah.
yan, silang
They,
tatlo yan eh.
basically, yung mga, syempre, yung mga sikat nung time na yon naririnig ko naman lagi. But then I would also buy a lot of cassettes at the time in when I
Mhm.
was living in the States, and mga extended na
Uh-huh.
plaka, yung
Mhm.
mga 12-inch na vinyl
Mhm.
records. But again, if you're talking about influence talaga, uh,
Mhm.
I listen to a lot of jungle music,
Mhm.
a lot of drums at the time, sa
Oh.
mga plaka. So a lot of
Uh-huh.
party club
Mhm.
music tracks that were
Mhm.
just being played in the underground clubs of New York. So
Mhm.
so that's my party side. I would listen to a lot of them. Anything
Mhm.
that's danceable na na underground na tunog na not
Mm.
necessarily pop pa, not the ones that are
Ah,
really sobrang sikat na danceable. Pero syempre pinapakinggan ko rin 'yon. Halimbawa like Groove is in the Heart, if you know that by
ah,
Delight, mga
Delight,
gano'n.
yes.
Yeah, so yun na yung popular side, but then there were a lot of underground that you wouldn't hear on FM radio at the time. So I would collect records,
Mm.
play them a lot of freestyle music is what they called it back in the day in New York.
Mm.
Influence nga,
Ah,
nabanggit ko na kanina, yung mga Love talaga, Queen Latifah, yung mga yan.
mm.
They did Ladies First Unity from Queen
Mm.
Latifah's album. Queen
Mm.
Latifah is she is somebody I look up to kasi she started talaga as a female boss at the time.
Mm.
You know, she started her production company, the Flavor Unit, and from
Mm.
then on, she is a rapper, a songwriter. She also sings, but she
Mm.
was also helping people, producing people, and up to this day, you know that she had a talk show before, and now
Mm.
she is a lead in a TV show now in the States called The
Mm.
Equalizer,
Uh-huh,
and
yes.
it's under her own production company. So,
Wow, yeah.
isa talaga siya and Vogue. So, rapper sila, Public
Mm.
Enemy, pagdating sa R&B and Vogue. Yon.
Okay. Unity, I think, is that track na, well, we always share, yung, sinishare ko sa yung music video ng Unity. Parang it's an all-star cast na female rappers sila lahat. Am I right?
Bale, ang talagang ano nun, kay, if I'm not mistaken, that's from Queen Latifah. UNITY, yun yun eh.
Ah, yes.
UNITY, yun.
Yan. That's
Uh,
exactly the what I'm talking about. And
uh,
so, pagdating naman sa, like, sa usual sound trip mo everyday, Miss Jug, I'm sure you listen also to other music genres na outside hip hop, and I'd like to know what are those?
oh gosh.
Yeah, yung
Ang dami.
mga trip mong pakinggan, yes. Because you've worked with artists from different genres. So, alam ko pinapakinggan mo rin sila, yung mga works nila. And sino pa? Like, ako, personally, as your friend, I'd like to know ano yung nasa playlist mo, ano yung mga pinapakinggan mo.
My playlist on Spotify includes those who are new,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I
Mm-hmm.
listen to pag gusto ko siya, it doesn't matter to me what era, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
And then syempre the old, definitely 80s music. I definitely have
80.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. All sorts
Of
yan,
course.
whether it be love song or new wave or
New Wave, yeah.
romantics. Yeah, so the bands of the 80s definitely Spandau Ballet, Culture Club, Duran Duran. So I
Ah,
really listened far beyond hip hop. So
okay.
that's still part of my playlist.
Mm.
Um, kasama top 40, kasama din yung hindi top 40. Siyempre meron din
Mm.
70s. Um,
Ah,
Siyempre a lot of the
the
R&B, the roots of
standards.
R&B soul. Yeah.
Ah,
Um, Siyempre, George Michael, my favorites na lang. So, George Michael, Michael Jackson, siyempre, Madonna, the most
ah,
popular ones of that era, right?
ah,
Uh, we're talking outside of hip hop, of course.
ah.
Let's see. And then mga bands that you wouldn't think that I would listen to were do you know the song called Eye in the Sky?
Ah, I love that.
Okay, so
Uh, Alan Parsons Project.
yes, so I listen to that mga ganyan. Anything that I
Ah,
discover that I appreciate,
mm,
kasama yan sa playlist yan or
yeah,
pinapakinggan
wow.
ko siya. So
I
very
didn't
wide,
even know. Yeah,
and I
na
and
gusto
I
mo
also
tong.
uh, and of course I also listen to classical music, the Baroque era, the Romantic era of
Oh,
yeah, I studied that
okay,
in college in the States. So napag-aralan ko
okay.
yung different ano niya. Yun.
Wow.
Ang
So
dami nila eh.
I mean, we should get together sometime just to listen to music. If yeah, now that I know kung ano yung mga pinapakinggan mo rin, Miss Joke. I mean, wouldn't it be great na, just drinking and listening to music after all this pandemic is over, 'di ba? That's the first thing we have to do. So anyway, since you have talked so much about your love for Queen Latifah and Moni Love, So, eto medyo technical ng konti, but you could answer it using a different approach if you want. I'd like to ask you about your rapping and vocal style. How would you define that? Define it. Para sa aming mga hindi, alam mo, hindi kami rapper, hindi kami talaga singer. So, how would you uh, mm, describe to
Mm.
us your style as a
Uh-huh.
performer?
Um, well, huh. That's a hard question to answer.
Yeah, sana na
Okay,
ano ko siya
so
sa'yo.
as a songwriter,
Um,
um, in the time Bada Flava came out, so we were out
mm,
in the late 90s, early 2000s, and we were performing until 2013. That when I would write songs or record songs, we would always have the rap and a melodic type of rapping. So yung naririnig nyo ngayon na style na kinakanta yung rap, I
mm,
was doing
yes.
that. I was already doing that back then, right?
Okay.
Because I was mixing it up, nga, rapping and singing. I like to
Okay.
play around with the melody while rapping. So if you remember Gwen Stefani,
Mm,
uh, you know her song "4 in the Morning." That's one of my
yes.
favorites.
Ah,
Okay, so if you listen to
parang
the way
ganun.
she did that,
Mm,
ganon, mahilig ako sa ganong style when I'm writing, when I'm creating a song,
okay.
right?
So that's when it comes to rap.
Yeah. As a singer
Uh,
naman, I'm not a great singer, Nell. I just, I can sing a little bit, but it's you can hear my voice. It's very very simple. Hindi, I'm not like Jazzy or Scarlett. I'm very simple. Uh, I mean, I don't know how to answer
okay.
that. The style.
Okay. So
Basically, it's
but
always going to be with hip hop.
uh,
Yun lang.
so, yes, and
Pero, but of course, if I want to write a just a pure song, I will.
mm,
I can.
uh,
Yun.
okay. So thank you for thank you for answering that. Because yun, I of course I've heard you and I've seen you perform impromptu. So that's why, yeah, and I think I just want to know kasi hindi ko pa siya natatanong talaga siya sa iyo before. And so, well, after we've talked about all about music, so I'd like to ask you naman about you as a person outside music. Can you give us any idea about your lifestyle? What do you do outside music, and your other hobbies and interests? Na
Okay.
maybe yung iba hindi namin expected. Yes.
But before I answer that, if you guys want to know, if your listeners are really interested to find out what to answer the question of my rapping and vocal style, I think the best way is for you guys to listen to my songs. So,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, I'll type it na lang. I have to find the link, but I have my old songs on Reverb Nation and
Mm-hmm.
Bandcamp and SoundClick. I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm.
SoundCloud. I think if you dissect those, Nell,
Uh,
then you would be able to get the answer you're looking for when it comes to the style. Yeah.
okay.
So
Well,
and
I
and then yung
guess.
rap, hindi, balik. Um so to answer your next question,
Uh-huh.
what do I do outside? So I work.
Uh-huh.
I work from home,
Uh-huh.
luckily, thank God.
Uh-huh.
Um of course now because nga nangyari na tong pandemic and puro streaming na tayo, so of course I watch movies to
Uh-huh.
relax.
Yes, I
Um
know that. Natapos mo na ba yung Gotham?
Hindi ko na natapos yung Gotham, the
Hindi
TV
pa na.
series.
Ako
Hindi
rin,
ko na
pareho tayo.
natapos. Iba na yung tinapos ko. I
Uh,
read, of course. I
uh,
read. I listen to some podcasts.
uh,
Um, well, before, I used to like to play sports before when I was younger, basketball, volleyball, tennis. But now, mahirap makahanap ng kalaro. So
uh,
walang ganon-ganon dito, may pandemic pa. So I'm not able to play sports as much as I used to. back in when I was in the States and when I was, here, na maraming
Mm.
opportunity, 'di ba, to just siyempre wala ng mga bar-bar ngayon, wala ng gano'n. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so basically that's it. Cook,
Uh,
movies, TV series, read, podcasts,
okay.
study, online
Okay.
courses, something that will
Oh,
benefit me, and my online
and
shows.
of course, yes, which we will promote later. But you also have your advocacies, Miss Jug, and this is something that I'm really very happy that to see you doing. And minsan may mga time pa na nakakasama ako to host some of the benefit shows. You have the Hustle series that you did before. So how did that come about? Yun naman, yung parang gusto kong malaman paano mo siya nasimulan and where did the idea come from? Because alam ko series siya eh. Marami siyang um, events that you did before.
Okay, so the Hustle series is actually
Mm.
called the Hustle for Babies series
Aha.
of
Aha.
benefit events. We did these from 2010
Mm-hmm.
till
Aha.
I think 2016 might have been the last one. Um, so we were benefiting babies who were suffering from liver disease,
Mm.
particularly biliary atresia. So
Aha.
we would organize under Butterflavor Entertainment and Pinoy Hip Hop's organization a lot of fundraising events or
Ah.
just to raise awareness, to be able to benefit these babies. It started
Okay.
with one of my students before because I used to teach voice lessons.
Mm.
Um, so nagkaanak na siya, yung panganay niya,
Ah.
ilang buwan pa lang, yun nga nagkaroon discover nila may liver disease. This
Aha.
was back in 2010. So she asked for our help,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. So it started with Inigo, that was called
Mm-hmm.
Hustle for Inigo.
Yeah, that's
Um,
the first one.
yeah, it was
Mm.
very successful, and then syempre
Mm.
nabalitaan na nung mga iba, lumapit sa student ko yung mga ibang parents na may gano'n ding condition yung babies nila. So, siyempre
Mm.
tinanggap ko na ng tinanggap kasi I looked at it as, something that people are asking for help, and it wasn't really easy for me to just say no,
Mm.
so and at the time I just started Pinoy Hipapas,
Mm.
January of 2010. So which I really was more aiming it was more for benefit events talaga. That was the advocacy
Ah.
of Pinoy Papas. And so I just accepted as many as I could at the time.
Mm.
And the last
Mm.
one I believe we did was September 2016 at B-side.
Uh, Eventually, I mean, it started as the Hustle for Baby series, no, and eventually it came to include other,
Uh,
other beneficiaries or
ano na
other
yun eh, cross, hindi, nagko-cross, naghalo-halo na siya over the years.
naghalo.
So, kasi nga, Pinoy Hip Hop started, right? So,
Mm.
it was dedicated to helping through hip
Mm.
hop,
Uh-huh.
right? Doing benefit events. So we were
Mm.
doing typhoon victims, earthquake victims.
Sunog
Uh,
victims, yeah, di
yeah,
ba? We
ganon.
had that before.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why, yeah, that's when we started with that hip hop for a cause hashtag. I think that time, man. And Miss Jug, so yes, after you told us about these advocacies, so let's go quickly lang through your many different projects, involvements, affiliations through the years. Na you have done some of them with me, mostly the hosting ones. But let's talk about these. Butterflavor Entertainment, of course, na pag-usapan na natin. What about the Pinoy Hip Hop's organization? Magkasabay lang ba sila ng BFE
Um,
when you
almost.
started?
Well,
Almost.
BFE officially started in 2001, and officially
Mm-hmm.
Pinoy Hip Hop was launched in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
But I was there was a moment or a time during BFE events I was
Mm-hmm.
starting to call us Pinoy Hip-Hopas.
Uh-huh.
Like
Okay.
us kaming mga artists.
Uh,
Ah, so nag-cross siya, nag-overlap siya, but officially speaking, nauna ang BFE. So
Now na yung
BFE's
BFE.
BFE's mission basically was to introduce,
Mm-hmm.
right, the hip
Mm-hmm.
hop culture here in the Philippines, to educate people about it,
Mm-hmm.
and to really um, palawakin. That was
Uh,
BFE. So it was a lot of underground events featuring open mic hype events for mostly newcomers. Okay,
okay. Yes.
and Pinoy Hip Hopas was for benefit events
Okay.
mostly, and the mixtapes, the compilation albums that I put out throughout the years from 2009 until
Mm-hmm.
2019. So the next
Yeah.
one is out this year, Pinoy Hip Hop
Okay.
Volume 7, at the end of the year, hopefully.
Mm. I
We're
think I
halfway
had
done.
two. I had
Yeah.
two of those compilations. Kailangan ko pa makuha yung iba, no? And what about the women's business hip hop, Miss Jude? So this came much later.
This was officially launched in 2012,
Mm-hmm.
but I, of course, thought of it way before that.
Uh-huh.
Right. So I think of all these movements way before it actually comes to fruition. Right.
Fruition,
It
yes.
doesn't happen right away. So I would,
Mm-hmm.
as I'm going through, my mission,
Mm-hmm.
I would think of something. Ganun lang kasi talaga ako eh. It would just happen. Like, oh, I have to do this. There's something that's missing here. So, of course, women's business hip hop, as you can see, it's of course about women in hip hop. So they're mostly MCs or rappers and singers, uh, B girls, right? Wala pa kaming DJ na member, but karamihan sa amin rappers, singers, and B girl. So women's business hip hop is just basically highlighting women in Filipino hip hop. So we came together. We're a collective of
Mm-hmm.
um, of different eras, you know, and that's
Mm-hmm.
it. So we were just really elevating the women, like doing
Yeah.
everything to put the spotlight on the women. And when we stopped, when Riz and I stopped pushing it in 2017, if you notice, nag-usbungan na yung mga female. After
Mm-hmm.
that, in
Uh,
2018, the young female rappers started coming out here, right? The younger
uh,
ones, the children, and
the
then yung mga
children.
teenagers,
Mm-hmm.
mga babae, and now ngayon ang lalakas na nila, right? So we're really happy to see that there's these younger girls, rappers that are really
Mm-hmm.
making it big here in the Filipino hip hop community and industry and culture.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, that's it.
But even before, I think nagfe-feature ka na rin ng mga female child rappers sa show sa Jambonga, right? Because you had
Yep, sila
guests
yon, sila
before.
yon.
Ah,
Yeah,
sila
sila
yon
yon.
tinutukoy mo. Oo,
Yes,
okay.
sila Alex Bruce, 'di ba, who is
Mm-hmm.
now a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
Um, si Kisses, si
Uh,
Kisses G. So mga bata pa sila
uh,
noon.
At one point, Miss Jug, I don't know if you call it members, pero how many artists does did the women's business include at one point? Yung pinakamarami. Kasi alam ko nung na-meet ko kayo, marami. Si Jazzy, even si Shello was there.
I
Um,
think I think we're 14 or 15 or
14 or
16,
15. Okay.
something like that. Yeah. Meron pa rin naman yan, di naman yan mawawala. We're just inactive, it's
Yes.
just there. Yeah.
And anytime pwedeng bumalik, of course. Yes. So,
Well, any
what about yes, sorry. Yes, of course, you mentioned it earlier. Gising Diwa Hip Hop Movement and Collective. Ito is another one na sinimulan mo with Yo, Palis, and JR Prisno, and
who's watching? What's up,
Eric
JR? He's
Oh,
watching
JR is
now.
watching. Hello, JR.
Uh,
Oh, yes. Magandang gabi, JR. Last episode pa yan nanonood si JR. Thank you, JR. So, yes, can you tell us about the Gising Diwa Hip
malakas
Hop?
malakas ka kay JR eh. Sa akin 'di nanonood 'yan, sa'yo nanonood.
I'm sure nanonood yan.
Biro
Pang
lang, biro
dalawang
lang.
music artist pa lang eh. So, anyway, yes.
Siyempre si Tapat yun eh, siyempre. I was also watching last week or
Oh,
last
thank
Sunday.
you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. So, anyway, yes, about Gising Diwa Hip Hop Movement and Collective. Of course, I introduced you as a collective sa mga ibang events na we did in the past. What made you create, the collective or found because you're the founder?
Okay. So remember I mentioned earlier during the interview that as early
Mm,
as 2003 or 4, I was creating my solo album,
mm,
which were what kung saan kasama yung Ang Bata, right?
mm, mm,
So as early as then, I was already conscious about topics that
mm,
people in consider to be underground.
mm,
Some people consider underground topics those topics that hindi magugustuhan ng mainstream na
mm,
masa. Kasi
mm.
ang gusto ng masa basically is love song or love
Party
song,
party, mga ganyan.
party party, and alam mo na yung
Mm.
isa. 'Di ba? Yun lang
Yes.
yun eh.
Mm.
Right? So tatlong topic lang yon, love song, party party, at alam mo na yung isa.
Ah,
So as early as the early 2000s, I already wanted to write songs that were significant, socially relevant. So now
mm,
in 2018, um, kasi you know how I'm friends with JR Prisno, with sila
mm,
Jeyus, with all these people who were really performing as solo artists,
mm,
and were all mga activists or socially relevant songs sila talaga. Heavily,
mm,
really.
mm.
And then I feel like one night magkakasama kami, and I think this might have been after Jambonga. Oh, by the way, Pinoy Hip Hopas includes the Jambonga, the radio show. The radio show Jambonga with Pinoy Hip Hopas is under the Pinoy Hip Hopas organization. I forgot to mention that earlier. So
Oh,
anyway,
okay. Okay,
um,
noted. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, how could I forget that? Yeah, so sabi ko kila JR, hindi, galing kami sa gig. Magkakasama kami sa gig nila JR,
Mm,
nila Jeyus, at marami pang iba. Hey, you guys are performing hiwa-hiwalay mga solo-solo. I think we should come together na as a
mm,
collective, since ang
mm,
galawan ngayon sa hip-hopan are collectives, right? To
mm,
really make a statement, to come out more, more voices together,
mm,
right? So, and then they agreed, regardless of, you know, uh, political beliefs nila or kung kanino man sila, we didn't focus on that. We focused on the issues at hand.
mm.
So that's how Gising Diwa came about. Now, let me just clarify, why is it Gising Diwa Hip Hop Movement and Collective. So the collective are the official members of the Gising Diwa Hip Hop group, right? So we are currently working on an album. So we've been releasing the songs as much as we can. But once the songs are complete, we're going to be releasing it on the streaming sites on Spotify. The movement, the Gising Diwa Hip Hop Movement, are people who have made a song with us or who have joined us previously but are not necessarily part of the collective.
Oh, okay.
Okay, kasi marami kasing mga gumagawa ng mga socially relevant
Mm,
advocacy tracks, legacy tracks, conscious
mm.
rap that don't necessarily want to be part of the Gising Diwa collective. You know what I mean?
Oh, I see.
And
Okay.
and I'm not about poaching people. I'm not
Mm,
about, hey, why don't you come to my crew? I'm not like that.
mm,
I'm more
mm.
about, gathering people with who are like-minded, right?
Ah, ah.
And just
Yes.
gathering us together, and putting our music, our product, so to speak, together, so that we can come out and perform together and make a
Mm,
stronger statement collectively.
yes.
Yon ang
Yes.
Gising Diwa.
Well, thank you for explaining that because I've always wondered about how to call you actually sa mga times na ini-introduce ko kayo sa events, and so minsan gising diwa na nga lang yung nasasabi ko because So, but now, yes, we have here that explanation you have given why it's called Gising Diwa Hip Hop Movement and Collective. So, thank you for clarifying that. And you were launched officially during one of our events, a custom thread, right? I think that was the official launch of
Yeah,
Gising Diwa. Uh-huh.
2019 ata.
19 na, yes.
I think,
So,
yeah.
so early 2019, I think. And of course, Miss Jog, can you tell us about Hip Hop with Christ, which was parang pinaka-recent ito, no? Ito yung,
Okay.
mm,
Okay. Okay, Hip Hop with Christ halos magkasabayan ng Gising Diwa. I think
mm,
actually nauna pa Hip Hop with Christ sa Gising Diwa.
okay.
Um, I could be wrong. I could have forgotten it already. But Hip Hop with Christ is the most important thing to me right now.
Mm-hmm,
Um, Although I am very busy working on two compilation albums, one of them is Gising Diwa.
mm-hmm,
The Hip Hop with Christ movement ministry now. I never really wanted it to be, I never really aimed for it to be an online ministry, but it became that way.
mm-hmm,
According to my spiritual leaders and mentors and pastors. Um,
mm-hmm,
so that is, of course, dedicated to gospel rap music or Christian hip hop music. So my shows, I have a couple of shows, one on Instagram and one on Facebook Live, are
mm-hmm.
under Hip Hop with Christ. So
Okay.
basically, that's a group of people who are rappers, hip hop
Mm.
artists who are Christians. That's it.
And I'm so excited to be part of whatever projects that we are cooking under Hip Hop with Christ, as we
Thank you.
talk to each other before. And tatanungin ko na rin, Miss Jog, yung iba mong affiliations pa like Musika Publico. Musika Publico is, yes, that time when you started to talagang branch out na working with different music artists. I think ito yung unang-unang group or affiliation,
Yeah.
right?
Because
Na, mhm.
Musika Publico kasi was, or is, sila yung sa Custom Thread the venue,
Oo.
right? So
Yes.
when I met them through Scarlett.
Mm.
So when Scarlett invited me to guest at her show, her
Mm.
Boys and Beats show, produced by Boys and Beats or Boys and,
Mm. Mm.
their venue for that show was at Custom Thread. So I met them through Scarlett. Na sila, they were dedicated or they are dedicated to socially relevant music. Pero
Mm.
hindi sila hip hop, they're different genres, right? So
Okay.
sabi ko, again, another ano, 'di ba? It was like timing.
Mm.
Sabi ko, wow, ano, saktong-sakto because I'm starting Gising Diwa, or I just started
Mm.
it, and then all of a sudden I meet these people who are from different genres.
Mm.
And then they have the same type na socially
Ah.
relevant din. Nakakatawa nga. So
Okay.
that's the story of Musika Publico. But I do you have the current ones now there? Or yan lang yung alam mo na
Well, yes,
affiliation ko?
nandito kompleto, kompleto.
Ah,
Well, I'd
okay.
like to ask you then sa like yung mga iba, you have these shows in many different well, not just online, so you actually have radio shows like before with us I co-hosted with Miss Jug yung Jambonga show sa DZME, but you also have uh, shows Radio Pilipinas with DJ Angela, who's with us last time, and I think ngayon din. Hello, DJ Angela. And then you have Edge TV, of course, and any other shows.
No, I don't do those shows anymore. So I've stopped Hip Hop Station. We stopped that
Mm.
mid this
Hip
year.
Hop Station.
Yeah, Hip Hop Station is the one with DJ Angela under Radio Pilipinas.
Okay,
Um,
so it's in the
that's
past. Yeah.
my affiliate. I'd like to mention that my affiliations was
Mm.
before Musica Publico. That's not my crew.
Mm-hmm.
Was in is Indie Pinoy. Indie
Oh
Pinoy
yeah,
talaga
there
yung,
in the
yeah.
Pinoy.
So I started under Indie Pinoy in, if I'm not mistaken, 2013 or 14. 2013,
Mm.
yeah. So
Mm.
yan, tagal na yon. And then
Oo.
Radio Pilipinas. And then with Edge TV, we also stopped that already. With
Oo.
with DJ Raymond, I think I can't remember what month we stopped eh. But
Mhm.
because yeah, because they were supposed to launch the radio show at their new website.
Oo.
Kaya lang hindi pa nila naaayos. Eh, ako naman, I got so busy, so
You
tamang-tama din
always have
sa'kin.
something to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, okey din sa'kin na hindi muna tuloy kasi nga I started doing other things na din. Yeah.
Okay. And you are also part of Kayakap since we talked about Indie Pinoy. So you have Kayakap and Musicians for Democracy.
Yon. So that's the latest. So
Yun yung
Kayakap
latest.
was
Mm.
yeah, the Kayakap was founded last year, and that's really
Mm.
dedicated to helping musicians cope
Mm.
with the pandemic. 'Di ba
Mm.
we all know that musicians or performers were not really getting any aid, financial aid or
Mm.
any support. Isa sa mga talagang nag-suffer na sector,
Mm.
'di ba? Alam mo 'yon, you
Yes.
come from that sector, right?
Yes. Mm.
Artists. And
Mm.
so Kayakap was formed for that very purpose, really, was to help artists, musicians na
Mm.
para matulungan. So we did that. Um, and then pero nag-inactive na 'yun eh. So now it's Musicians for Democracy. So
Uh-huh.
the founders of Kayakap are the same for Musicians for Democracy. And
Mm.
this is towards really helping raise the awareness about, what's coming to the Philippines now, 'di ba? Syempre
Mm.
we have to be
Yes.
prepared for the election next year.
Yes.
That's what we're doing here, really emphasizing through our music. Um,
Mm.
that's it. So
And
kasama-samang mga go ahead.
speaking of which, yes, so of course, extended pa rin po yung registration. So from 15th to the 30th. So we encourage people to exercise their right to vote. Yes. So
Yes.
yeah, so naalala ko lang Miss Jo because yeah, extended siya eh. So anyway, Miss Jug, so yes, thank you for telling us about all these projects and initiatives, affiliations that you recently had. Unless meron pa akong nalimutan, meron ka pa bang uh, um,
Uh,
uh, involvements na hindi ko na isama?
Basically, yun na yung malamang meron, pero yan yung pinaka-importante na yan. So,
Uh,
um, yeah, I
well,
think those are the most important ones that you've mentioned already. So, the ones that I founded,
mm,
and yeah, Indie
okay.
Pinoy, Radio Pilipinas, Edge TV, Musika Publiko, Kayakap, and
Mhm.
Musicians for Democracy. So, guys, yeah, please follow. Tapos na yung
Yes.
BFE, JR. Niloloko tayo ni JR eh. BFE daw.
Oo,
Siyempre na
JR.
siyempre pangalawang pinag-usapan yun after 4 is Flava.
Of course, siyempre yun pa ba yung malilimutan, 'di ba? And sabi ni JR, Miss Jog, nanonood naman siya, replay lang yung madalas niyang
Oo nga, oo naman.
napapanood dahil sa pagkakataon,
Loko lang
siyempre.
yun, loko lang
Oo,
yun.
yan. We have the support of our friend JR Prisno talaga
Oo.
naman. So, thank you, JR. Now, since you're one of, we started this show by emphasizing talaga, no? Because this is one fact I'm really proud of that I have a friend who's one of the pioneers of Pinoy hip hop. So, coming from someone like you, Miss Jug, I'd like to ask you for your insights on the present state and the future of Pinoy hip hop. Parang napaka-seryoso pero yes, this is something that needs to be talked about. Yes, can you give us what you think or
Okay,
predictions?
sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I will be honest that I am not as active now as I used to be,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I
Mm-hmm.
can only give you a limited perspective, right? Um, but with the pandemic and all, the lockdowns, syempre nabawasan ang mga physical events. So there were a lot of rap challenges that happen online,
Mm.
right? So they just went crazy over that last year, most especially, even this year pa.
Mm.
I think present state, I can't really, if I'm gonna base it on the rap challenge, there's so many factors because I remember that everybody is now trying to find ways to make money online,
Mm.
right? So content
Mm.
is everything now,
Mm.
right? So everybody now, since the pandemic started, everybody's just like really putting content out, whether it be rap challenges, reviewing a song,
Mm.
song reaction, mga ganon. Marami nagaganon sa hip hop ngayon, song reaction. Like somebody asked me, "Hey, why don't you do a show on YouTube and mag-react ka sa songs nila?" Marami daw
Mm.
mag-aano nun, maaabang. Sabi ko, "Ayoko. I don't want to do that." But a lot of people are doing that. So I guess if you want to consider that to be good with the rap challenges, and I mean, I guess buhay na buhay pa rin, right?
Mm.
Kasi before nag-pandemic, buhay na buhay ang hip-hop dito eh. It's like really strong. So
Ah,
of course, namatay eh. So hindi ko siya makita talaga like I used to see it. I cannot see the horizon completely now. Okay? Um all I can see now is that people are trying to do as much as they can with online shows,
mm.
right? May nababalitaan ako na nag-event patago, syempre.
Oh.
Oo, may hindi ko naman alam kung saan. Syempre hindi natin
Mm.
alam kasi patago nga, 'di ba?
Ah,
But
oo.
of course, people are still releasing songs. Like we are, kami, I am working on two compilation albums in addition to my collaborations with Hip Hop with Christ.
Mm.
So I'm not stopping when it comes to putting music out, right?
Okay.
Um, Yun lang ang masasabi ko about the present, Nell. I'm really sorry because I don't have the same perspective as before the
Ah.
pandemic started.
Well,
Um,
coming from someone who's been there sa what we call the golden age of Pinoy hip-hop nga, no? So, tama ba, Miss Jug? We already had the second golden age. Uh,
I don't know. What do you
you
think?
don't
Why
know.
do you say that?
Well, with the hindi sa akin, but from nababasa ko, like, this flip top, this flip top face, nung
Mm.
pumasok siya, it was considered to be as the second golden age. So, yes, interested akong malaman anong opinion mo doon. Coming from someone na, yung mga OG na galing sa original golden age of Pinoy hip hop.
Kulit nito si JR. Well,
Yeah.
Flip Top,
Um,
if I'm not mistaken, started in 2009 or 10, no?
mm,
So, syempre, it is the most popular of its kind in
mm,
YouTube. It's the most
mm,
viewed. So, of course, it has created an impact worldwide, not just here.
mm,
It's produced some of the best
mm,
rappers or MCs. So yung iba sa kanila have released albums also. Kasi the Flip Top is a battle league, right?
mm,
So there's the battle rappers and the recording artists na mga nagsusulat ng kanta talaga. So magkaiba 'yon
mm,
eh. So merong mga marunong mag-battle rap pero hindi marunong gumawa ng kanta.
mm,
Meron din marunong gumawa ng kanta pero hindi niya kaya mag-battle. So magkaiba 'yon.
mm.
Pero yung mga personalities, some of the personalities in Flip Top, some of them kaya pareho. So
Ah,
ganun ang na-produce niya,
mm,
right? I mean, I don't know. I haven't read those about it being considered the golden age. I don't know anything about it.
mm.
Um, is it? Do I agree with it? I mean, I don't know.
Yun, yung gusto
Really,
kong malaman.
I don't
Mm,
have an opinion when it comes to that. But I
aha,
will I will based on what I know about Flip Top, that during the times I was able to interview Enigma and
Mm.
attend, one of their big events. Um, and I am aware some of the people who are releasing albums kasi sinusundan ko din, 'di
Uh,
ba? I mean,
mm.
undoubtedly, isa talaga sila sa movers. Isa talaga
Uh,
sila sa nagpapatuloy na umikot yung gulong for hip hop in the
uh,
Philippines. For sure 'yon, for sure, right?
and remember, I've asked you about before this episode about flip hop. Well, this is about sa terms naman. For those of us who doesn't really know the trap genre, which is what characterizes, or among those, together with flip top, they characterize the hip hop landscape of the 2010s. What is trap?
Trap really just became popular ngayong mga 2017 na onwards.
Mm, mm,
2016, 17 onwards na. More so 2018, 19, 20 here in the Philippines,
mm.
right? Um, so not necessarily 2010. Maybe
Okay.
abroad, but here,
2010s. I mean, the decade
dito,
2010s.
yeah, yeah, okay.
Uh,
So what was your question about trap again?
yeah. So how would you define it for those of us who's not really familiar with it?
I don't have the definition for it
No
either. I just
definition. Okay.
I just know that it is what the youth or the generation today prefers,
Mm,
because
okay.
it's different to write
Okay.
to that beat, the trap beat.
Mm,
Iba yon
mm,
kasi iba flow nun.
okay.
Iba flow nun eh. Mas bibilis.
Uh,
Whereas yung genre, I mean yung era na alam mo, yung mga 90s, yung boom bap,
uh,
that's different also. So, and before trap, meron pa. Nakalimutan ko yung tawag, yung before trap, yung sumikat din. Pero yung ano siya. Anyway, yeah, those are all yeah, trap is the most popular, like amongst
mm,
the youth. Or
uh,
I've met people in the youth
mm.
who consider trap to be everything, and they
Oh,
look at boom bap or the older music as parang makaluma.
Miss Jog, I've been immersed sa Pinoy hip hop music scene. I think enough naman to know this existing clash between the old school and the modern
Ayon.
generation ng mga artists ng hip
Yeah,
hop. What can you say about that? I mean, hindi ba dapat nagtutulungan, or I mean, yeah.
ayan pala. You mentioned that. I'm sorry, you mentioned the beef, yung ang
Mm,
away nila,
yeah.
no? That was so malakas last year, I heard.
Mm.
So, grabe yung away-away nila last year.
Pandemic na
Well,
'yan, pero oo.
yeah, so there were a lot of rap
Um,
challenges, right? Wala
mm,
kasing laba, 'di ba? We were all locked down, walang physical events eh. So doon nila nilabas.
binuhos,
Pero
yeah.
no, pero syempre before
Mm,
2020, before the pandemic, may mga beef na rin, may away-away na rin sila.
mm,
Away-away yung some of the old school against the new school, etc., and vice
mm,
versa. Bakit
mm,
nangyayari 'yon? It's probably respect, lack of
mm,
respect. The other party feels that the other party is disrespecting them,
mm,
you know.
okey.
Uh,
Oo,
the other party not recognizing the path that the old school has laid down,
mm,
disregarding what the old school has done,
mm,
and
mm.
then the old school not necessarily understanding the path that the current generation is taking. But don't
Ah,
forget, now there is also the mid school, so to speak,
yes, oo,
right? Those who appreciate both the old school and the new school, or the
mm,
trap, I should say. The younger, you
mm,
know. Um, bakit nangyayari yon? Expected mo na yon. Kasi,
oo,
this is, when it, remember, the battle arena.
Mm.
the battle culture. Hip hop is
Mm.
about battling as well eh.
It
You know, like
originated actually
may
then.
ganun talaga
Yeah.
siya eh, oo, 'di ba? Even with
Mm.
B-boys and B-girls, even with DJs, they battle each other talaga. So it's
Oh.
normal, it's gonna happen and it's always gonna happen. That's
Mm.
something that will never stop, you know.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean na hindi dapat mag-unite, 'di ba? Siyempre,
Mm.
that's ideally speaking, it would be nice to see them united,
Mm.
you know. But when people were messaging me last year asking for my opinion about yung pinakamalalang away nila, I just
Mm.
like said, "I'm sorry, I'm not aware. I'm sorry, I'm
Uh,
not really, I'm not really interested to meddle into that. Oh,
mm.
that's not for you guys, so don't take offense. You don't understand what's going on with them, so don't take offense. Kumbaga, wag mong saluhin 'yan." 'Di ba? Yun yung sinasabi ko sa mga kumakausap sa akin last year. Kasi there were
Mm.
people talking to me, they will chat
Mm.
me and ask for my opinion, trying to get me to get into it. And I was very, like, no, I'm not really interested to go into that. My
Okay.
mindset was Gising Diwa and Hip Hop with
Mm.
Christ.
So,
Yeah.
well, tinatanong ni JR if that genre that you're talking about before trap is crunk.
Loko-loko.
And paano yung preschool? Anyway, so yung mga, minsan si JR, di ko alam sa yung mga seryosong tanong niya or ano mga
Oo nga,
nangloloko
yan kaya nga tumatawa lang ako, eh.
And Miss Ju, going back to that, old school versus new school whole issue, can I just verify na this is not necessarily parang old generation versus new generation na
Ano,
we could talk about old school as a genre, not as a generation. Kasi merong mga bata who prefer that kind of old school sound. And kasama ba sila dito sa, sa away na to na where do they
no,
stand?
no, you're right, don't generalize it. It doesn't necessarily mean na
Mm.
ako, kasama ako dun na kaaway ko sila. No.
Ah,
Individuals yan. Kanya-kanya
individual.
sila. Yun yung
Okay.
sinasabi ko kanina na hindi ka, halimbawa, may sinabi tong isang tao, tinira yung old school,
Mm.
right? So, I
Mm.
consider myself part of the old school, of course, the old school
Mm.
generation or that.
Mm.
Will I get offended by it? You can choose to be offended or you can choose not to be offended by it because
Mm.
to me, I'm like, I'm not part of that conversation. Like, whatever argument they're having, there must have
Mm.
been a reason why that happened. I'm not going to inject myself into that situation just so I can be part of their beef, right? I don't want to be part
Yeah.
of anything like that. Now,
Mm.
if ako yung gaganunin, ibang usapan yon, syempre, right?
Ah.
But you know what? Sa tagal ko na in the scene, and you know this, they know that I'm not into that. They
Mm.
know I
Mm.
don't like, hindi ako mahilig sa ganyang bagay. You know
So
what I
you've
mean?
never
So,
been part of that kind of battle kahit before, kahit
alin
hindi
yung
ka pa
mga
naka-focus. Yeah, yung
yung
old
mga
school versus new
bata-bata?
school.
No,
Yes. Never.
no.
Kahit dati pa. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Okay. So,
because with BFE and PHH, it was always about positivity.
uh,
Remember
yeah.
how I would always emphasize the positive side of hip hop.
Uh,
Remember that? Yeah.
uh,
So, like, people, there are people who know that if they come to my events, bawal
mm,
yung ganito.
mm,
Bawal mag-away, bawal ganyan.
okay.
'Di ba?
Ayun. So, thank you for answering that. Well, by the way, we just talked about the present state. So, yes, what about the future? What can you see, Miss Jo? Future of Pinoy hip hop, right? After siguro natin matapos sa pandemic na to, what do you foresee? Parang ginawa pa kitang manghuhula. Pero yeah, like
I think
parang yes, smart
well,
prediction mo.
I think if physical events will finally be allowed again, it will be
Mm.
stronger because a lot of people learned how to use their computers and record during the
Yes.
pandemic. So a
Yes,
lot of
exactly.
people are, yeah, created songs, natuto sa technical stuff, natuto sa
Mm.
paggawa ng ganitong mga usapan na ganito, 'di ba? Gumamit ng mga streaming sites like Kumu, uh,
Mm.
Bigo, whatever, Uplive. So syempre,
StreamYard. Parang
yeah.
ako. Pero yeah.
'di ba? So
Mm.
I think it'll be stronger because more people will be hungrier to come out and really
Yes. And I think
yeah,
it goes to all ano no art types ng art kasi kahit sa kami sa film for example, I'm sure so many materials na magagawa about the whole pandemic experience. So that's definitely the same thing with music.
yeah.
And so then
Yeah, and
we
it will
so
because if you go to Spotify, grabe ang mga
mm,
playlist ngayon doon ng Pinoy rap. Ang lakas.
ah, yun nga,
Yeah.
yeah.
'Di ba? So mas lalakas 'yan kasi nga people learn now to create content online and get paid eh. So people are
Yeah.
focusing on getting paid online because that's the future,
Okay.
right?
So, and it's a good future for Pinoy hip hop. So, then, my next question would be: I know that you feel so much about this. For those who would like to pursue music and the arts, because we've always discussed no na ikaw what would you have preferred to happen sana or kung ano pa yung pwedeng mangyari when it comes to support for someone who would like to pursue music and the arts na member ng family. So if they would like to go this path and whether they're being supported by their family or not or whether they get any support or not, ano yung advice mo, Miss June? Because ang tinatahak natin yung arts, this is really medyo mahirap siya na choice, di ba, na piliin.
Are you sure you want me to
That's why yun yung pinaka-last ko kasi yun yung pinaka-finale na
Are
na
you sure?
yes,
Well,
please.
um, well, I was driven because
Mm,
of my passion to succeed, to really
mm,
I was very driven, very passionate with music, with my dreams sa music, with performing. That's why I was ready to do whatever it took, right?
mm,
Just to be, because well, if at a young age you don't have the fire
mm,
to really be ready, like if you just want to achieve your dreams but you're not ready to work hard for it,
mm, mm,
and then what you're aiming for is money agad,
mm,
um siguro ewan ko lang, kung iba na yung panahon ngayon na baka feeling nila magkakapera agad. Kasi may mga
mm,
kilala ako ngayon, na mga bata, talagang they're very new, they're new in the hip hop community, but they wanna get paid, right? So they don't know the meaning of planting seeds or paying their dues.
paying their dues, yeah.
They don't have that. That's not part of the vocabulary. As far as they're concerned, they gotta get paid because they produced a product, right? So it really will boil down to what your values are or what your attitude is in life, right? If you're somebody who's willing to work hard and not make money your priority, but learn about life
Mm,
at the same time, you'll gain so much knowledge and riches other than financial riches, right? You go for it, but you have to have the fire. If you don't have the passion and the fire and you're like urong sulong, don't waste your time. Just go find a job and work there, or start
mm,
your own business where you'll just make money.
yun.
It's not for the faint-hearted, right? Yung ginawa natin.
Yes.
You can't be hindi ka pa pwedeng ano dito. I'm really I'm being nice now. But if I
Ah,
weren't being nice, correct, sabi Jer.
tama
It
daw,
would
oo.
If you're a sissy,
Mm,
right? If you're a wimp, yan, yung mga
mhm,
negative words, no?
yeah.
If you lack the courage, uh, the desire to get dirty,
Uh,
right?
to do the dirty work,
Maputikan
yeah.
ka,
Mm,
na i-disrespect ka ng ibang tao,
Mm.
if ang in number one priority mo is your pride,
Mm.
forget it. Just go work a regular job or start your own business and be your own boss. Huwag ka nang pumasok sa arts. 'Di ba
Yes.
kaya ang sagot ko depende 'yan sa ugali ng tao, eh. Hindi pa puwedeng
Yun.
pare-pareho ang advice. Ngayon kung ikaw naman yung tao na na kagaya mo, kagaya ko, ba? Kagaya ni JR at kung sino-sino pa na talagang kahit anong mangyari and we're willing to work hard and we were
Mm.
willing to lower our pride even if ma-pride tayo. We were
Mm.
willing to lower our pride at moments when necessary. Go for it,
Mm.
right?
Yun.
But don't ever go into the pursuing your dreams and you say you're passionate, but then once you feel the pain and you commit to other people, you're gonna start to say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't handle it. I gotta take a break," and then disappear from the rest of everybody. So that's so unprofessional, in my opinion. Kasi nagpaasa ka na eh, di ba?
Ah,
Huwag kang magpapaasa. At the very least, magsabi ka na hindi mo pala kaya,
yun.
di ba?
So, I can't help but, i-echo yung sentiment na yun when it comes sa amin naman sa acting community, no? Because ganun din, Miss Jog, eh. It's pare-pareho namang arts yan. And
Mm.
for those na bagong salta na they thought na parang ano lang, yung simpleng nagtrabaho ko, then give me my money. Parang ganun. It doesn't really work
Yeah,
that way sa industry ng arts, no? Kasi sa amin naman,
yeah,
before you could even ask for that money, meron pang apat na stages na kailangan mong ano na kailangan parang ladder siya na kailangan mong ma-complete or ma-check.
yeah.
Unang-una, if you're practicing your art, kailangan wag kang tumigil. You must have momentum. Kailangan hindi ka tumigil. Like, any slight na pag-point ng na-discourage ka, titigil na agad. Because sometimes momentum din yan yung nagdadala sa'yo towards success. So momentum, and then you have to gain much more skills by practicing and practicing. And then of course you have to have, after that you will earn your credentials, na dun yung parang credibility mo makukuha ng nakukuha ng
Yep.
tao based sa credentials mo. And with good credentials, of course, you have all the backing of the right people, because yan, connections. Kung wala magtitiwala sa'yo, kahit magaling ka pa, anong mangyayari sa'yo? And
Correct,
finally,
correct,
at least if you have all these four, dun pa lang papasok yung pera.
correct,
So,
correct.
yun yung I
Yeah.
hope you agree with it. At least sa amin,
Um,
ganun yun eh. Kasi,
okay, so in as far as my experience is concerned in the hip hop community,
mm,
parang gano'n din siya, hindi lang siya nakalatag as specific as yours, right? But what kasi ganito, eh, 'no, 'pag dinaanan mo walang mawawala sa'yo, eh, kapagka dinaanan mo yung dinaanan ko, eh,
mm,
dito sa hip hop, right, in this
uh,
community. At the
yeah,
very least, it's character building, eh.
mm,
Everything that I went through, it's
mm,
really character building talaga. It's talagang para akong alam mo yon yung diamond, 'di ba? Yung inano sa
mm,
fire talaga, 'di
yes.
ba? Gano'n na gano'n yung nangyari sa'kin, eh. Even up to now, it's still happening. It's really
Baptist not
wala
by fire.
nothing
Mm,
will happen wrong na ano sa'yo, ang difference lang, maghihirap ka nga lang talaga pagka yung pera talagang may hindi ka eto yon, if you're new in the community, ha, and you wanna enter the hip hop community and the hip hop industry, right? Or culture. Iba-iba
mm,
'yun, ha, iba yung community, iba yung culture, iba yung
culture.
industry,
Mm,
right? They're not all the same.
yes.
Industry is more of the recording, the money, right?
Mm, mm.
Community involves everybody,
Including
right?
me na nag-appreciate. Yes.
Yeah.
The
And
listeners.
the culture, right? Which is really
Mm,
the upholding of the elements of hip hop, right?
mm,
Parang yung sinabi mo, no, may dinadaanan kayo. So sa amin, simple lang, pay your dues. Right?
mm,
So syempre, there are kids now who enter the scene
mm,
not understanding that because their mindset is to make money. Business ang
mm,
mindset nila, eh.
mm.
Right?
Yes.
Now,
Oo.
if you go back to hip hop, the roots of hip hop in the States, How did it begin? I'm not saying that they didn't make money eventually. Okay, let's not confuse my question. But in the beginning, 'di ba, it was really, it's a culture thing eh. Ginawa siya dahil magulo para hindi
So,
mag-away-away.
okay.
Nag-start lang sila sa party,
Mm,
party-party, coming together, elements, art. It's art. Hip hop culture is art, right?
mm,
There's the DJ, the b-boy, the b-girl, the graph artists, the writers, the MCs, and then the
mm.
other elements came about na, no? But um so sa inyo very specific kayo, may 4 steps kayo required nga na dapat
Or sa
consistent.
akin lang siguro, Miss Jog, parang sa akin na-formulate ko yun as my own, parang game plan or
But
sa mga humingi rin ng advice sa akin, ganun yung sinasabihin ko.
I think it's I think yung generation mo kasi and my generation are very similar in that sense when it comes
Mm.
to building character eh. You know, if you
Ah,
want respect,
mm,
right, you will be given the respect that you deserve as an individual, right?
mm,
But don't be cocky about it and
mm,
expect and boast about it, especially in
mm.
the hip hop community. The hip hop community is very, it can be very territorial.
Ah,
Kaya nagkakaaway.
yun, dun
Yun
nag-uugat yung
yon.
mga, isa sa
Yes.
mga, isa yun sa mga,
Kasi they paid their dues eh.
mm.
'Di ba? So
Oo nga
parang
naman.
hindi ba, paano ba bagong, I mean, there will always be disruptors that will
Mm,
enter any scene.
mm.
There's always going to be people like that, right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be hip hop. Even in your, right, in your area,
Yes.
in your community,
Ah,
'di ba? In your sector, whatever. Ganun din
field,
talaga.
yes.
So that's my answer. It really comes down to the character of the person.
Character. Oh,
If
yes.
if if
So,
if respect is important, you gotta show that you know how to respect. Pero kung papasok ka na parang kala mo kung sino ka, 'di ba? And then
ah,
you demand money,
mm.
eh di business 'yon, eh di magtrabaho ka na nga lang,
Oo.
'di ba?
Parang,
Eh
yeah,
art ano 'to eh, culture art 'to eh, art. But
it's
it
quite
doesn't
different.
mean na hindi ka dapat bayaran. Siyempre dapat ka rin
Mm,
bayaran kasi artist ka eh, musician ka eh,
mm, mm.
right? So but
Nag,
darating ka dun eh. 'Di ba?
so exactly.
Hindi siya automatic
Ora-orada
na,
na. Yes.
oo, gano'n. So,
Ayun. So, I'm very happy to hear that. And so finally, yun, you gave us a piece of your mind, no? So sa mga doon sa mga nag-aspire pa siguro, so that's the reality. And thank you, Miss Jug, for sharing that.
but
Now, wow, yeah.
but
So, but yeah,
but I'm a changed person now, Nell. I'm
okay,
nicer now. I'm nicer now. So, if
okay.
I were to meet somebody na aangasan ako, I wouldn't
Mm,
react the same way I would have before. So, I will
uh,
simply just stop dealing with them. That's it.
so ganun lang.
Gano'n na ako
Ganun lang
ngayon, hindi na,
kasi.
I'm no longer interested to argue or to
Mm,
try to teach.
mm.
Yun, walang mangyayari diyan. Iba na ang panahon ngayon,
Since
especially with
when?
this pandemic.
Uh, since
Yeah.
when, Miss Jug, that you had that kind of approach pagdating sa mga, yeah, sa mga tinatawag mong disruptors na ganyan?
Pakitanong si Asher, loko-loko. Since when? I'm sorry, since
Yeah,
when
since
na
when?
na mabait na ako? Wala pa naman ulit,
Yeah.
pero kung sakali man na meron,
Mm.
since when? Since I really focused on hip hop with Christ.
Oo, yun. Yun
No,
yung ano, yun
I
yung
want my
tinatanong.
life to be proper. I
Mm,
don't want it to be full of negativity or
mm,
strife, right?
mm.
I want it to be just peace, right? It doesn't
Okay.
mean that papaapak ako. Of course not. You
Mm.
know my
So,
personality.
yes, Miss Jug, ako as your friend na close, ipupush ko na yung ano ko, yung luck ko by asking you this controversial question.
What
Um, s-
question?
so since you said that, yeah, you had this different approach, mas mabait ka na ngayon. If ever you run into one of those fellow artists or kahit sino that you had a beef with in the past. Um, and so, do you think mag-iiba yung paki, pakikiharap mo sa kanila?
Nangyari na yun. I mean, I
Nangyari
was
na?
yeah, in 2018-19, bigla akong
Mm.
makikita sa isang event yung isang tao na hindi ko kinakausap ilang taon na. That's happened to me already,
So what
right?
happened?
Eh di okay na kami.
Wow.
Basta
So,
basta hindi ako uumpisahan. You know what I
uh,
mean? Basta
uh,
maganda yung approach. Eh, hindi naman kasi ako war freak na 'pag nagkita
mm,
kami is I'm going to like start.
mm,
No.
mm.
That's happened to me 2018 and 19, I promise you. Must have been at least 3, 4 times it happened. It's
Wow.
crazy. Yes.
Wow. I'm happy to hear that. So like,
Yeah.
Hip Hop with Christ really changed your life as nakikita ko naman ngayon, and based from the way na, pag nag-uusap tayo, but this is the first time I knew na may actual na nangyari na ganyan. So,
Oo, yeah.
well, that's good to know, Miss Jug. So,
Yeah.
well, this had been really great. Ang sarap ng kausap mo. Na
Thank
ngayon
you,
lang natin
Nel.
napag-usapan itong mga ganitong mga bagay, no? So, as a way to close the show, I would like for you, Miss Jug, to tell us any current projects and initiatives that you would like to promote. Of course, you have your shows. So we would like to promote this show. Sa IG lang ba ito?
So sa IG,
Mhm.
it used to be Tuesday nights, ngayon it's Tuesday and
Yes.
Wednesday.
Okay.
Pero hindi ako magsho-show bukas. Ang
Uh,
sobrang busy ko rin kasi. Ah,
mm,
I just started the Wednesday last week actually. And then
uh,
before last week, I didn't do IG for like a month because I'm just
uh,
so busy. Pero yung Sunday nights ko yon, continuous yon. So my
uh,
show on IG is called Masaya Kay Masaya. It's Tuesday or Wednesday night at 10 to 11 p.m. on my Instagram page.
mhm.
Um,
Okay.
just
Jugita
at Jugita, oo. And then
or
my
MCJ Love. Yes, look for MCJ
uh,
Love.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
my show on Facebook Live on Sunday nights from 8:30 to 10 p.m. is called God is Love. That's continuous. That's gonna be a year na. Malapit na siya
Okay.
mag 1 year anniversary, which reminds me.
Anniversary.
Alam mo
Yes.
yung 1 year
And
anniversary niya, wala akong show. God.
walang show, naging blank
Wala akong
pa.
show.
Okay. What a way. So just
Oh,
siguro the message is sobrang busy ka. So papahinga muna as a special treat for your first anniversary. But yes, this
yeah.
IG show, Miss Jug, from time to time, of course, na nakakakuha ako ng update here. So here, you can follow
Oo.
her, MCJ Love, sa IG. And then meron ka pa, I just want to, to point out na Miss Jug had been very kind enough para i-sacrifice yung time slot niya na yan ng Tuesday, 10 to 11 p.m. no? For this show, because we have the same time slot. So, thank you so
Yeah.
much, Miss Jug. Talagang, siguro
Thank you, Nell.
kahit mga August pa to na pag-usapan natin, no? And you willingly gave up yung time slot na to for this episode. So, and meron
Siyempre,
ka
for
pala.
you.
Thank you. And for FB Live, meron ka rin pala, Miss Jug, no? So you can follow her. Yan, I think nakakonect naman siya sa post na to ng post for this show. So click nyo na lang yung link to access yung Facebook profile ni Miss Jug where she does the FB Live every Sunday. Anong title naman ng Sunday show nyo, Miss Jug?
I actually do it on the Hip Hop with Christ FB page, and the
Oh,
title is
okay.
God is Love. The
God is
title is
Love.
God is Love.
And this is with the Hip Hop with Christ page, rather.
Yeah,
Okay.
Hip Hop with Christ.
Yes.
Yeah. So
And
that's go ahead, go
sorry,
ahead.
what?
It's okay.
Yes. So aside from the online shows, do you have any new songs that you are recording? Any
Yes.
any materials that we should look forward to?
Yes, so I've been working on two compilation albums this entire year. One is Pinoy Hip Hop's
Mm-hmm.
Volume 7. We're halfway
Seven.
done. And
Mm-hmm.
then, of course, we're delayed. Pero okay lang, sanay na ako sa gano'n. Sa talagang
Mga
nade-delay talaga ang
delays.
projects.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Gising Diwa Hip Hop Collective album.
Mm-hmm.
We
Mm-hmm.
have released four songs, but we are working on completing the album. And once that's complete, we will release it on Spotify and the other streaming sites.
Yun.
Um, I will be we are releasing our first song under Gising Diwa, will be part of the Musicians for Democracy project that we are
Mm-hmm.
finishing now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then so I'm also working on collaborations with Christian hip hop or gospel rap artists.
Mm-hmm.
So I did one under the Jesus Star Cipher series part 2. So I'm working on others as well. Also working on the soundtrack of the indie film, the follow up to Pinoy B-Boy indie film,
Wow.
Paraiso Dream. I'll be working on that as well. Kaya
Okay.
and then of course yung mga solo songs ko na dati ko pa nasulat na hindi ko pa rin
Mm-hmm.
nare-record hanggang ngayon, eh, I'm not giving up on those. I'm still trying to record them. But I think I'll be able to because DJ has his
Jack.
own studio na, home studio. So I'll
Ah,
be recording at his place na.
wow.
Minsan punta tayo doon na JR, doon tayo record. 'Di ba? Doon tayo record.
Yes.
And yeah, so basically, yeah, please guys, please do look for Musicians for Democracy on Facebook and follow that page. It's so
Mm-hmm.
important. Musicians for Democracy FB page.
Okay.
And of course, Kising Diwa
Yan.
in Facebook and Hip Hop with Christ. Yun lang yung gusto ko i-promote talaga.
So
Yan.
Musicians for Democracy, Gising Diwa, and Hip Hop with Christ. Yes.
Yes.
So we could expect Miss Jug the first album from Gising Diwa, and then the Pinoy Hip Hop's compilation 7,
Volume 7, yeah.
Volume
Yeah.
7. Ayun.
Those are all all original beats lahat 'yan. Volume
Ayan.
7 and Gising Diwa. All original beats, guys. That's why it's
Mm,
taking longer. Ah,
mm,
dati kasi yung mga nauna kasi na-accept ko lang yung submissions nila eh. Pero
ah,
ito talaga trinabaho talaga namin ng
mm,
producer ng beat. So it's taking
okay.
a longer time. Yeah.
Yes. I will leave you with a bonus question, Miss Jogno, na because this is the direction that you're heading now. Um, Pinoy gospel rap is fairly a new frontier.
Yes, here.
Mhm, 'di ba?
Yes. In the
So,
States malakas na siya eh.
oo.
Oo.
So this is going to be your new direction. And so for those who are following Miss Jog ever since 1994, from her Four East Flava days to Bata Flava days, um, Pinoy Hip Hop's events, and now so she's going to be heading to this, as we call it, a new frontier sa kanyang life and sa industry, the Pinoy gospel rap. Let's support her because I assure you she has great plans, and alam ko yan. And so
Yeah.
we're excited to see, okay, other, more milestones that you will be achieving in your continuous growth, Miss Jog, as an artist, as a person. And so we're wishing you the best, okay? And so with
Thank you,
that,
Nell.
yes, you're welcome. I'd like to ask you for your final word for tonight. Yes, since sobrang kinuha ko na yung grabing chunk ng time mo.
Oo
So,
nga, ang
but
tagal na natin
I
nagkukuwentuhan.
I love every moment of it, and I hope our viewers then. So, yes,
Sige, wait.
what? Uh,
Ah, kung alam ko lang ganito tayo katagal magkukuwentuhan, eh, dati makikita mo ako umiinom na ako ngayon, oh, 'di ba?
oh,
But so tingnan mo,
yeah.
but, no, no, thank you so much, Nell. Joking aside, thank you so much, for this, invitation. I don't really get to talk about myself, I'm usually doing the interviewing. So as you can see, That's why I asked you kanina, can you like give me an idea of what we're gonna talk about? Because it's gonna be hard to gather my thoughts, right? Because there's so much to talk about. Thank you again for this chance to talk. 3 hours, that's cool.
Wow.
Talaga namang nilaan ko na yung oras tong gabing 'to para sa kuwentuhan natin 'no. Um,
Yeah.
and to all of you who, checked this out, thank you so much. Thank you for supporting my friend Nel. Nel has been, a very supportive friend, since I met him in 2009 or 10. He has helped me, co-host be a guest co-host on my, AM radio show for 4 years. He, called Jambonga at DZME. Also did some guest hosting at my physical events under Pinoy
Mhm.
Hipapas and Butterfly Entertainment. So, tsaka meron kami mga projects before sa Dance Pinoy. Talagang ano,
Yes.
Nell is somebody I truly respect, and I really, really appreciate everything he does. Pagbabasa na lang ng mga post niya, sobrang I'm very delighted all the time when I
Wow.
look at your posts, no? Yung mga stories mo, yung mga pictures mo from the past, your experiences from your shootings, anything. I just love reading your very eloquently written, captions, right?
Oh,
And that's why I
thank
always
you.
say it's such a delight to really read and see your posts. Totoo yun, because you're very eloquent.
Wow.
And sometimes
Thank
I find myself being, hindi ako speechless ako, ikaw dire-diretso ka pa rin 'pag nagsusulat. Oo, tama JR, 'di ba? Oo nga,
you.
mahusay na
JR.
na-host yan si Nal. Yes,
Thank you,
correct.
JR.
Um,
Ayan.
yeah, thank you. It was fun to reminisce and go back all those
Yes.
years ago to my, the
Roots.
roots and
Yes.
how I, pursued my dreams until
Yes.
this day.
And now you're moving to, yun nga, a
Oh
different,
yeah. Yes,
yes,
I
subfield.
wanna That's right. I am working on also once I get done with the two compilation albums this year, my focus next year would be my album for under Hip Hop with Christ. So it'll be my
Mm,
solo album with some
mm,
guests. It
mm,
will be all gospel rap, Christian hip hop album.
mm,
I've been working on the topics, all year,
mm,
highlighting, what topic I'll be, writing about. Of course, it'll be Bible based. There will be a biblical verse, as a basis of the song. That's the plan. It's going to be very difficult. It won't be easy. It's something not coming, it just cannot be coming from my heart. It has to be coming from the Bible as well. So it will be difficult. But
oh,
I look forward to working on it because I will be producing songs, adding the musicality, but it's about Jesus, it's about God. So yun yung gusto kong ma-accomplish sana by next year. And everything I do now, well, I'm heading towards that path really is really to glorify the Lord. That's all I want to do right now. Um, it doesn't mean I'm going to turn my back, you know, on other things. As you can see, I never turn my back on hip hop. I called it hip hop with Christ,
mm-hmm,
right? When I didn't have to do that, but I did. How can I turn my back on hip hop? That nandyan kayo. Kayong mga kaibigan ko, mga nakaramay
mm,
ko,
mm.
nakasama ko sa lungkot at saya, sa saya at lungkot, sa party, etc. It's just not gonna happen. But of course, with that being said, my priority is to glorify the Lord. So that's my route. That's my path.
Your
It's
core
about,
na.
yeah, that's it. It's to God be the glory. It's Jesus all the way. That's me now.
And with that very beautiful note, we're ending today's show with Miss Jug, Honeyluv Ramos, once again. So send her virtual applause because sobrang na-enjoy namin Miss Jug. This night had been great, and this had been one of the really both great pero relaxed lang na episode. And we'd like to thank all our friends who watched with us. Sir Vic Sanhil, good evening, sir. JR, thank you for being with us. And Sir Noel Tylo, the rest of you guys, thank you for joining us for this very, I'm sure, memorable episode of One Life Stand with Nel Estuya. Once again, Miss Jug Hanilab Ramos. So thank you, Miss Jug. And
Thank
good
you.
night, everyone.
Good night,
Take care.
everybody. Take care.
Until
God
next
bless.
time.
Thank you,
Bye. Good
Nell.
night. Thank
Good
you, Miss
night.
Jo. God bless.
Bye bye. God bless.